Music up?
What's that?
Is the music up?
Yeah, it already played. You can hear it.
No, I didn't hear it. That's why I wasn't saying anything.
What the fuck?
that's
What the
why.
hell?
That's why I didn't say anything. I was trying not to talk over the intro. Okay.
Oh, wow. It played, so I don't
All
know.
right. Well,
Mm, mm.
I guess I'm
Oh
glad.
well. Anyway.
I guess I'm glad I asked.
All right. Well, welcome to a regular episode of Metalheads Unite. If you missed last week, Martin Motnick from Accept was on here, and I seen a story today where they're actually talking about they got a lot of their stuff ready to go to add lyrics to. So
I saw
if you
that.
missed
I saw that too.
so if you missed that interview, you can hear a lot more about that from the interview. It's on. You can go check that out on Spotify or YouTube. Uh, it's on both of those there, so go check that out. Uh,
Pretty good interview we had with Martin. I mean, which I knew it would be. I mean, even though we only got to talk to him for a short time in March, I I,
mhm.
I had a feeling it was going to be a really good conversation. He was super receptive and down to earth and everything, and really cool when we got to talk to him back in March, even though it was only for like 15,
Yeah.
20 minutes. And he was, when you had reached out, he didn't really have any hesitation in coming back on. I mean, just
Mm-mm.
very, very cool guy.
I was actually surprised he did it so quick. Honestly, I was because I was like, I was like, hey man, we got some free time whenever He's like, well, what are you looking at? I said, hey man, it's up to you. Whatever you want to do, we're kind of open right now. So he said, what about next week? I'm like, okay, I'm like okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna say no. That's for damn sure.
Hell yeah.
Uh, so it was pretty cool. But if you guys didn't see that, or you can go check that out now. So up on Spotify and like I said, YouTube, and I don't know if you can probably go back and watch it on Facebook too. I imagine so.
I think
Uh,
so. I think you can.
yeah.
The people who are in the Facebook group, I think they can.
Mm. All right. Well, there was something else I was wanting to mention at the top of the show, and I forgot what it was.
Well, I will say one thing before we get into like the meat of this thing. For those of you guys that didn't know, our one of our favorite bands of the last couple of years for sure, Angelus Apatrida, had their brand
Yeah.
new single drop today. It's called "Cold" off the new album Aftermath. That's going to be out on October 11th. I listened to that song 3 times today, and it's getting better every time I fucking listen to it.
Mm. Yeah, I watched the video and then I also listened to it when I added it to the playlist too. So,
Oh my lord! I got a chance to watch the video today at work when I was on my lunch break, and I was just like, "Good God!" I mean, in a good way. I was blown away, man. I know I'm biased already, but if that
yeah.
song is any indication of what the album is going to be like, that's going to be a top 10 album this year, easy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man!
Yeah.
You
I
guys
wasn't
really,
expecting anything this.
yeah, you guys really are missing out if you're not listening to Angelus Apatrida.
I mean, we
They're,
were for years.
we were missing out. I mean,
Yeah. Actually,
we've only been turned on to them literally for like about
3 years
two
now, maybe.
2.5, yeah, going on 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I am a huge fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, check that video out if you guys haven't yet.
And excuse me. And we'll probably be talking about them again later on in our segment
More than
theme of the week.
likely.
So,
Yeah. Little bit of a spoiler there, even though we didn't give away the
yeah.
exact theme, but
Uh, yeah.
But odds are good.
Yeah.
As in like it's gonna happen. So I'm just
Yeah. So I don't know if I didn't really touch on this story much in any of my stuff. I don't know if you did or not, but I was just want to bring it up before we got started. Was a scene where they're talking about replacing. I mean, that's just a rumor. They're talking about replacing Vince Neil on like the tours now.
I
So,
saw I s-
yeah.
I saw a headline about that, but I didn't really I didn't read the story because I don't see it happening. I mean, it's one thing to me, it's one thing to replace a guitar player, and nothing against Mick Mars, of course, he's a phenomenal guitar
Yeah.
player, and we've touched on we've touched on his health issues, on the show before.
Mm,
I mean, they go way back.
yeah.
They've been around for a long time. They've just been kind of just lingering and just hanging around him for God. I don't even know how long he's been dealing with that shit. So it I mean, band members come and go, and different
Mm,
lineups change all the time. I mean, hell, I'm talking about Pantera. Right now they're
mm.
playing with only two of the original members. So it happens all the time. Metallica isn't.
Yeah, but the difference is
Is
that their two members are passed away. So
right. So I
they,
mean, so I mean,
yeah.
so for whatever the reason, I mean, lineups change all the time. So but it always seems like it's always more of a big deal when it's a singer,
Hmm.
you know, because, probably you're talking a good 90% of the time, the singer is actually the face of the
Right.
band, so, the musicians are a little easier to change out. And especially as far as like a seamless transition kind of goes. Cause when John 5 came in from all I've heard, I mean, he basically just picked up where Mick Mars left off. So, I mean,
Hmm.
especially with as talented as John 5 is, I kind of expected a seamless transition. And like, for all intents and purposes, for everything I've heard, that's kind of happened. So, you know, and you, you posted something on, in the Facebook group about it. And well, did you? Because I saw you commented on
But
something. I saw you commented on it because you said somewhere John Karabi is laughing.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw your
Well, that was
comments.
that was for the Vince Neil thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
I don't know if that was something you posted or just commented on, but I saw your
I think it was just a
comment.
comment. Yeah, it was on their story. I can't remember if it was Metal Injection or no, it may have been Loudwire. I can't remember, but
Yeah, I don't
it's
exactly.
either or. It was one. It was uh, one of those publications, and I
Yeah,
actually commented that on there. I says, yeah, somewhere John Karabi's laughing. So,
yeah, I don't remember the
uh,
source, but
yeah,
I did see your
yeah,
comment. So,
yeah.
so yeah, I
But I
mean,
mean, it's kind of true because I mean, John Karabi still has a pretty strong voice. I mean, uh,
yeah,
definitely stronger than Vince's.
here lately, yeah, here lately.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, yeah. But we'll talk a little bit more about the McMahon situation in the headlines. I think so.
yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
no
it'll be.
spoiler there too, I guess. But
I mean, it'll be interesting. I don't see it happening, but now that the rumor is out there, I mean, it's going to be
mm,
something interesting to keep an eye on,
well,
especially
the thing,
especially if
the thing,
if footage
oh, go
keeps
ahead.
popping up of him butchering his own songs.
Right. Well, the bad thing about rumors is it's been something had gotten said somewhere, whether they were drunk at a
Yep.
party or something. Something got said somewhere about hey, this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. So yeah, it'll definitely be something we keep our eye on, and then obviously if anything goes down, we'll definitely let you guys know about it.
So that was weird. I kind of like I'm watching YouTube too, just because I kind of watched that to make sure the feeds and stuff are
Mm-hmm.
decent. And like it's not missing a beat on YouTube, even though I'm flashing on and off on Spotify on my StreamYard, which is weird.
It
Uh,
is weird. Okay, well, I mean,
yeah,
as long as everything's going out over the air, okay,
yeah.
that's fine. I mean, we can we
Well,
can
because
we can
yeah,
compensate.
because I remember reading something in StreamYard about that the feed there doesn't always reflect what they're seeing on the other end, and like your live feeds and Facebook and stuff, because their connections could be a little bit different. So
That makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, but it was kind of weird. I was just sitting there watching it. I'm like flashing. I'll look over and I'm like, no, I'm still on YouTube. So that's kind of weird. But okay. Now you see me, now you don't.
Yep.
Anyway, all right. I guess we can dive into some birthdays here. If you didn't, of course, like last week we had Martin on, so we didn't do a lot of that stuff from last week, and I'm not going to go through what you kind of covered a lot of those in the Metalhead Minute and
Yep.
on TikTok. So if you want
Yep.
to go over and check that out for the birthdays from last week, or if you want to go to the group page, there's a list there too. So,
Mm-hmm.
but there was a lot of big birthdays last week. So
Yeah. Yeah, there
yeah,
was.
Papa Health was the big one. So. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so
That was
and
definitely
and
probably
we're
probably the headliner last week for sure.
yeah, and then we you had Alyssa White Glues and a few
Mm-hmm.
other a few other big time people on there. So,
Yeah.
um,
Got a
but
few big names
yeah,
this week, so
oh
not
yeah,
this
there's
week too. So,
yeah, a lot of big names. It just like I said, it's going to continue this week. So,
oh yeah.
uh, anyway, we'll dive into that real quick from August 5th until the 11th, which is today. Um, Birthdays. August 5th, we had Eddie Fingers Ojeda, which we seen at the Rockin' Pod this year. So that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool. Guitarist and songwriter for Twisted Sister and Scarecrow. We had Pat Smear, guitarist for the Foo Fighters. Christian Ode Walbers, bassist and songwriter for Fear Factory. And then I know I'm going to kill a lot of these names because some of these are Finnish, and so forgive me. Ika Topinen, cellist for Apocalyptica. We had August 6th, we had Vinnie Vincent, guitarist for Kiss from 82 to 84. And of course, he was in Vinnie Vincent Invasion and solo stuff now. So if you can get him to show up, there you go.
Ask Chris Zinzak about that.
August 7th, we had Bruce Dickinson, of course, vocalist for Iron Maiden. We had Michael Wyke Wyckoff, guitarist for Halloween. Johnny Solinger, singer and songwriter for Skid Row from 99 to 2015, and he unfortunately passed away in 2021. We had James Lynn Strait, a singer for Snot. Of course, he passed away in 1998, sorry. And if you're not familiar with that, I'm pretty sure that's the reason for the Angel Sun song by Seven Dust, if I'm not mistaken. And then later, of course, LeJean dedicated it to his brother. But then we also had on August 7th, we had Gall, which is a vocalist for Gorgoroth. Jamie Josta, vocalist for Hatebreed and Josta, of course. Joshua Harvey, drummer for LeChuga. And August 8th, we had Ricky Rocket, drummer for Poison. Sam Totman, guitarist for Dragon Force. August 9th, we had Marinas Goretzin, bassist and keyboardist for Golden Earring. Greg Chason, bassist for Badlands. Kyle Keterling, bassist for Bantango. A lot of bassists this week.
Mm-hmm.
Lee Kakadi, or Kakadi, I don't know how I think it's Kakadi, singer for Pop Evil. Telly Smith, singer and guitarist for The Word Alive. Then we had Dennis Snake Bellinger, vocalist for Boybot. August the 10th, we had Hansi Kirsch, singer, songwriter, and bassist for Blind Guardian. Christopher, I don't know if this is Johnson or Janssen from there that over there, but he's a guitarist and composer for Therion. Can't ever tell with the J's over there. So
Yeah, it's a European name. It's probably Janssen.
probably so. That's what I was thinking too.
Probably.
So August 11th, which is today, we had Eric Brand, a violin prodigy and rock guitarist for Iron Butterfly. He unfortunately passed away in 2003. And then we had Ross Halfin. He was a British rock and heavy metal concert tour and portrait photographer. So hats off to him. Happy birthday to him, because like I said, without him, we don't see a lot of the pictures we see. So
And he's photographed a lot of fucking heavy hitters over
yes,
the
he
years.
has.
A lot.
Yes, he has. And then last but not least, we had Moises Colisny. Anyway, he's a guitarist for Christian. So, like I said, another one of those overseas names that I probably butchered, and I apologize. But that is all I had. You have any personal ones to give out, or
No, not this week.
no,
Not this
next
week.
week, right?
Yep. Yeah, somebody's got a birthday next week. Well,
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up and see who it is. But
Yeah.
there's a
No
birthday floating
spoilers.
around
No,
next
no,
week.
no spoilers. So.
No, none. Absolutely not.
Anyway, happy birthday to those. And if I missed anybody, I apologize. Happy birthday to you as well. And if anyone out there listening had a birthday, I hope you had a happy birthday as well. So that will kick us up into some news of the week.
Yep. Yep, and unfortunately, we do have a passing to report on this week. So obviously, that takes precedent pretty much over anything else. So leading off this week, the current events segment for the 5th through the 11th over at the PRP.com. The Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza guitarist Brad Thompson has passed away. An original member of the eclectic metal outfit, he appeared on several of their recordings until his exit in 2008. The sad news of his passing was shared by his widow, Angie Granado, overnight. Her post reads as follows, quote, "It's with a heavy heart to let people know that my husband, Brad Thompson, has passed on. Many of you know him from the band the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza as one hell of a guitar player. This man had the kindest soul and the biggest heart of any man I have ever known. Please think of him today and hug your loved ones. I will miss you, my sweet husband. Always tell the people how much you love them, as we never know what the next day could bring. I love you, Brad Thompson. You will forever be my husband, and I am ever so grateful that you gave me the best 2 years of my life. We truly are the only lovers left alive." End quote. Earlier this week, Thompson revealed on Facebook that he had a foot of his colon surgically removed and that the results came back non-cancerous. So I don't know what the cause
It's
of death.
related.
Yeah, I don't know what the cause of death is. That's the only mention of it, is the fact that he actually had the operation.
Mm-hmm.
So no cause
Right.
of death, and it also doesn't say
Mm-hmm.
how old he was when he passed away. But judging by the pictures, he may have been in his mid to late 50s. So he definitely doesn't, he definitely not super old by any stretch of the imagination. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if the cause of death was related to his colon issues. So, you know, if we see something, we may provide an update, but unfortunate that it had to happen at all. So our
Yeah.
thoughts go out. Our
And was
thoughts
it?
go out to them.
When did it say he had surgery?
It just said it was earlier this week.
Okay. Wow. So
Yeah.
that could have been staph infection or something, maybe.
Maybe, because I mean it wasn't cancer. It did say
Right.
that the results were non-cancerous, so it wasn't cancer. So I don't know. I don't
Mm,
know what it could have been.
yeah. That's horrible.
Yeah, it sucks.
And then they said they were only married for like 2 years. That's even worse, man. They
Yeah,
didn't get a lot of time together. So I mean,
no,
I mean, they may have dated years before that or something. I don't know, but beside the
right.
point, it's
I
still not a long time. So
yeah, I don't know the background of the relationship either. So, but yeah, so
okay. Well, we'll get that. We'll take all of our theory for that and then trash something. You want to trash something? Let's trash something.
yeah.
So this is over from Loudwire. The 2023 MTV Video Music Award nominees were revealed on Tuesday, August the 8th, and the rock and metal world was largely overlooked when the nominations were called out. Surprise. Um,
Mm.
with 21 big categories for 2023, the rock and metal acts can mostly be found in two categories: Best Alternative and Best Rock, with only three acts considered rock or metal by the nominating crew receiving multiple nominations. In the best alternative category, you have Blink 182, Fallout Boy, yeah, Lena Del Rey featuring John Batiste and Paramore. Oh, and 30 Seconds to Mars. Sorry, so that's in the alternative category. Uh, it should it should be noted that Fallout Boy's best visual effects for Love from the Other Side, Lana Del Rey best, that's not even a fucking rock artist, like best
Mm-mm.
art direction for Candy Nexus Boy Genius. Who the fuck is that? Were the three acts that received a second nomination. Panic at the Disco also snagged a Best Choreography nomination for their Middle of a Breakup video. In the Best Rock category, you'll find the Foo Fighters, Linkin Park's Lost, or sorry, Foo Fighters, The Teacher, Linkin Park's Lost, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Tip of My Tongue, Main Skin's The Loneliest, Metallica's Lux Eterna, and Muse's You Make Me Feel Like It's Halloween. So
So
you can hit
so literally the only metal band at all
is
is
Metallica.
Metallica. That's it. That's all there
uh,
is.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you could consider like Foo Fighters and Linkin Park hard rock, I guess,
Yeah.
but yeah. The only metal band is definitely Metallica. So. But you can head over to www.mtv.com/VMATO to vote for the category. So push Metallica up in there so they have no choice. The ceremony will take place on Tuesday, September 12th at 8 p.m. from New Jersey's Prudential Center, which probably won't be watching, but okay.
No,
Um,
I won't be there.
and then, like I said, but I don't know, it's just crazy. But all I can say personally is they better be glad there isn't an album cover award, because then none of the other genres would stand a chance.
Not even
So,
close.
Anyway, it's just another one of these fucking award shows that don't know shit about. They think there's only two genres of music. Evidently, they think there's only hip hop and pop. So I
Hmm.
don't know where the fuck they're living under a rock. I mean, for God's sakes, it's not. For God's sakes, Jason Aldean just had a #1 song. God forbid they. Of course, I mean it is MTV, so it's not CMTV. I get it, but
Mm-hmm.
still, it's like you. I don't even think they would be able to acknowledge that because they're not outside the box enough to know there's other fucking genres of music.
Right.
It's like so it's like the thing is like MTV probably was most profitable during the time that they played hard rock and metal songs, especially during the Headbangers Ball era. So to leave them off of your list is just fucking. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, man. It's just like, you're shooting yourself in the foot, man. What you're doing.
Well,
So,
you're
um,
you're you're I mean, MTV, when MTV started, I mean, they started off playing pop music because I mean they started in
mm-hmm,
1981, so I mean they started off playing pop music, but I mean, like you said, for a time, I mean, hell, there's a movie called When Metal Ruled the World because for a time it did.
mm-hmm,
So you had, like you mentioned, the Headbangers Ball area, the Headbangers Ball era rather, but another show
yeah.
that was on around the same time that I never really got into because it wasn't really my thing. But you remember 120 minutes? You remember 120 minutes?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I mean, it wasn't just Headbangers Ball. So you had a Headbangers Ball and you had 120 minutes, and 120 minutes was a little bit more of the hard rock and alternative stuff, but still, it wasn't. I mean, hell, they had Yo MTV Raps. So I mean, rap had its own show. So they're of course they're shit. MTV has been spitting in the face of music in general for probably 20 years anyway,
Mm-hmm,
but they've been giving double birds to heavy metal ever since they took Headbangers Ball off the air. It's like you said, they are not even trying to acknowledge that the genre even exists. And as far as award shows go, I don't watch award shows on principle, any of them. I don't, the
well,
grant.
no, because
So I mean, I don't even watch. I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but I don't even watch the NHL awards, and I'm a fucking humongous hockey fan, but I don't watch award shows just on principle. They're all overinflated and everything else. So I just don't watch them on principle. But when it comes to the musical aspect of it, the one you just talked about, the Grammys, the Hall of Fame thing, that's a completely separate issue altogether. But I mean, it's all bullshit.
mm-hmm,
And like you said, especially in this country anymore, unless it's hip hop or pop, like you said, they barely even acknowledge it. Grammys don't even televise, half of the musical categories anymore, especially metal. So it's just irritating, So it is weird because you try not to pay attention to it because you know that, especially being metalheads, we're going to get screwed. But at the same time, when you actually hear about it or see it, it still pisses you off because it's coming, and then it
mm-hmm.
comes, and you're like, son of a bitch, So it's not really a surprise anymore at this point. It's been like this for I don't even know how long anymore, how long it's been this way. So it doesn't make it any less infuriating, but
Right.
it is what it is. So you
Um,
just don't watch and move on.
yeah. Like to me though, like from trying to remember that time, I know like when I come in and watch that countdown for like so long, I'm like, man, can somebody please not Def Leppard's Force and Sugar on me off the top of this motherfucker? Like, it seemed like it was on there for like 2 years or some shit.
Yeah,
I'm like, God damn.
yeah,
But it was on there for a long time, like
it
months.
was.
And
Yeah,
this
it
was a
was.
countdown they did every day. So you would
Mhm.
think that at some point that something would knock it off, but no, I mean, that and Sweet Child of Mine was there for a long time because that's what I'm saying. Like you had a lot of these bands that were keeping MTV alive that you're
Mhm.
not even gonna mention, or the genre doesn't exist to you anymore. But as a matter of
Yeah.
fact, you should just go out and do a reality TV show anyway, and not give out awards for that instead of music because you don't play no fucking music anyway.
No, yeah. So I mean, why even bother?
Exactly. Like,
Yeah, why even bother?
All right, enough of that rant. But
Yeah. Well, no, I mean it's but
uh,
it's like I said, it's one of those things where you see it coming, and then it does
yeah,
happen, and it still never fails to piss you off.
it must be the same people that's on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame committee. So
I don't know. Would I be surprised?
it's got
Nope.
to be
I wouldn't be surprised.
uh,
I would not be surprised if there are some members that are on both.
on both. Yeah.
Obviously it's not all of them, because I mean we do know that
Oh right.
there are voting members on the Hall of Fame board who are
Mm,
well
mm,
documented metalheads. So we know there are
mm,
some. We are at least represented slightly, just not enough to make a
yeah.
fucking difference. So
Yeah. Which the one that surprised me was Adam Copeland, which is Edge
Edge.
for the Argue
Yep.
wrestling fans. So,
Yep.
so it's, he was really he's really tore into him about the Iron Maiden thing this year. So,
Good.
yeah, so
A round of spears all around. Get to it.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Which I mean, it's like it's become the point though where uh, it's kind of like Iron Maiden. Bruce Dickinson's like, "Fuck, I wouldn't even show up to get the damn thing." It's like it's not. It doesn't mean anything anymore because you've made it into something that's not. You know,
Right.
Oh, well, you get this rock and roll award, like, whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'll almost stand beside some dumbass pop star and get a rock award, but
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah. Right.
whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the monotony of it. But,
Mm-hmm.
and and it's kind of like I'm not knocking what these companies do, but in the wrestling world, they kind of do something similar to where they do like these little independent territories do Hall of Fames and stuff. It doesn't mean anything. Like you're not going to give me $100,000 check with it, then don't fucking bother. It's like that's kind of the way I look at. That's the way I look at it. But
Yeah.
it's just a way for and like I said, I'm no disrespect whatsoever, but I feel like it's a way for older guys to still have a place in the business. You know what I mean? Like, you know, hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna and don't get me wrong, I would love to sit in a room and talk to them about stories or something over to you because I mean that's the best thing ever to hear in a wrestling locker room. We talk about it on here. No, man, the wrestling locker room stories are. I've heard some wild shit that
I bet you have.
wilder than what we've heard on here. So, and I probably
I
would
don't doubt
probably
it.
I would probably put somebody in a bad spot just talking about some of them.
Yeah.
But I've heard some good ones. It's been pretty wild. A buddy of mine, and, not name dropping, but Woofy D from PG-13, he does a podcast as well, and he had Chase Stevens on, which I have not listened to yet. But let me tell you something about Chase Stevens. Chase Stevens is a partier, so I can just imagine what those stories were like. So. I actually ran into Chase downtown a couple of years ago. It was him and Chris Michaels. I ran into them at Bridgestone. It was at the Five Finger Death Punch show. And I don't remember what happened. Somebody bumped somebody or something. And Chase was just like, "Who did it? I'll punch that motherfucker in the face." Like, I was like, "Well," I told my wife, I said, "Well, we're going to jail. We got bail money." So,
Yeah.
he's just one of those guys, man. Like he didn't take crap from people, and like if you kind of be rude about shit, he's gonna let you know about it. So
Yeah.
but so anyway, let's get. I guess we got off topic there,
Yeah,
but
a little bit, but that's fine.
just I'm just trying to like say that a lot of these award shows, even outside of music, doesn't have a lot of ground. I mean, I guess, and
Mm-hmm.
even if you look at the WWE Hall of Fame, and we could probably sit here and name probably 15 wrestlers that should be there that's not. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's kind of the same situation where we're talking about the metal industry not being represented like it should because you got a lot of bands that have done so much more than some of the people they put in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that aren't really rock stars. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, it's
that's
crazy.
neither here nor there. I guess
Yeah.
thank God we got a heavy metal one, even though we don't get to see a lot of that. But
Yeah. But it does exist now, and
it
thankfully,
does. I'm grateful. Yeah,
thankfully so. And
yeah. Somebody,
Armored Saint got inducted this year deservedly.
yeah,
So
was it Twisted Sister last year?
yes.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
so, so I mean, that those are metal bands. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of, yeah. The Rolling Stones didn't get put in there. You don't want to know why? Because they're not a
Because they're not
fucking
heavy metal. Yeah, yeah.
metal band.
Yeah, Dolly Parton
Yeah.
and Willie Nelson are not gonna receive nominations to the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame. They're just not.
And that's the thing that bothers me with all that. And I know we're going to get on a tangent about this shit again, but that's the thing about because they're already a country music. There's already a country music hall of fame. We live in the fucking state it's in. So
Yep.
I mean, it's already there. Like we don't need to give them any more, you know, anything else. I mean, that's
No, we don't.
that's their music, and they're in that hall of fame because that's their music.
Yeah, and I have no problem with that. And like
Yeah,
like
me either.
when this has come up before, I've even said that if like Anthrax ever gets nominated for the Hip Hop Hall of Fame just because they did Bring the Noise, I'll have a problem with that too because
Right.
they
Or
shouldn't
or
be they shouldn't be in a Hall of Fame just for doing one
yeah,
goddamn song
yeah.
collaboration
Or
with Public
yeah.
Enemy.
And same way with
It
like
doesn't
Aerosmith and Run DMC. I mean,
Yeah, so
it's
that's what I'm
because Run
saying. So it's
DMC
not
redid a
just
song. Yeah.
right. So it's not just because genres that we don't think belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't think I don't. There's hip hop. There's a hip hop Hall of Fame. There's a country music Hall
Mm-hmm.
of Fame. There's a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There's a heavy metal Hall of Fame. The genre of music that should be represented is in the name of the goddamn building. It's not that hard. It shouldn't be.
Oh,
It shouldn't be.
yeah.
So no,
Well,
I
like I
don't want.
said,
I don't want to see
it
Anthrax in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. It's the same thing. They don't belong there.
and like I said, if they would probably just change it to the Music Hall of Fame,
Yep. Just
it wouldn't be an issue, man. Just
just
quit
change
calling
the
it
name.
something that's, but yeah, quit calling it something it's not. I mean,
Yep. Change the name. Change the name, and probably 90% of the backlash goes away.
yeah, it's like coming out and saying, "Hey, man, Wasp is black metal." Did you know that? Uh,
That's
that would be
blacky
wrong.
metal. Blacky metal.
Blackie metal, yeah, blackie
Blacky
metal.
metal. All right, this is an interesting one. I think we talked about this at least once before, but this is a little bit of new happenings with the same person. Staying over at the PRP, the Mirror are reporting that former Lost Prophets vocalist Ian Watkins has been hospitalized after being taken hostage and violently attacked at HMP Wakefield. Watkins was sentenced to 35 years in prison back in 2013 after being found guilty of various child sex-related crimes. Per the Mirror, Watkins was allegedly taken hostage by three other inmates in the prison around 9 a.m. on August 5th. He is said to have suffered stab wounds and several beatings before ultimately being freed by prison officials roughly 6 hours later. The Mirror are reporting unspecified sources that Watkins was listed in critical condition. The Sun report that Watkins was stabbed in the neck during the altercation has since been
Damn.
transferred to Leeds General Infirmary. The aforementioned publication also stated the hostage situation was diffused by prison staff in riot gear. Police continue the investigation of the incident, with Watkins reportedly having been treated by EMTs for the injuries he sustained in the incident. Watkins has run afoul of the law since being incarcerated, having been found guilty of concealing a phone in his butthole. It says anus in the story, but back in 2019. And then a
Yeah,
slight
but
update.
also,
Yeah, and then a little bit of an update. Sky News has reported that the injuries Watkins sustained in the incident are not life threatening. So, which is kind of good because he survives to get his ass kicked another day. Because when you fuck with children, you kind of deserve what you got coming to you. So
yeah. Well, like I said, that's why they are security in a prison and not me, because I'd have been like, I tried to make it, man. I tried.
I'd have been like, I'd have been like Gene Wilder in the Willy Wonka. Stop! Don't come back.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Damn.
Oh damn.
Damn.
I don't. Where are my keys? Fuck! I had my keys here. So anybody see my keys? Shit. Damn it. Oh man, I lost my
uh,
keys.
yeah. And it's sad. It's sad
Scumbag.
for people.
God,
Yeah, it's sad
scumbag.
for people to be that talented and do some stupid ass shit. Like, I don't get it, dude. Like,
Yeah.
people would, probably sell their soul to a crossroads demon for half of your fucking talent, and you blowing it on looking at fucking kids, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Like
But
I said,
hey,
not sound like it was a deserving thing, but whatever.
hey, hey, like it's been hey, there is honor amongst thieves. So I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
hey,
Well, they always say
criminal.
it's two things.
That's the
Two
thing is
things you don't go to
criminals.
prison for. Man.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you find it's like that's definitely a mark. Somebody finds
Hmm.
out that you did anything to children, your days are numbered, man.
Hmm. That and usually women too.
Yeah, women, children first, women
Mhm.
second. Yeah,
Yeah, you rape women or something, you're probably going to
yeah.
get your ass raped too. So,
Oh yeah,
all right, my next one is over from Blabbermouth, and this is why I kind of brought up the Wasp in black metal because this is about Wasp. But anyway,
yeah.
Wasp frontman Blackie Lawless has undergone a successful surgery to treat two herniated discs and a broken vertebrae. On Thursday, August 10th, Lawless released the following statement via social media: "I just got out of my back surgery earlier today, and all was good. The surgery was a big success. The doctors said he was very pleased, and the results were great. Now to get some rest. Thank you to everyone for all the support." So, because of the extensive back injuries Blackie suffered during the European leg of Wasp's 40th anniversary tour, the band's previously announced 2023 U.S. tour was canceled when will be rescheduled for spring 2024. And hopefully, it's a Nashville date on there again so I can actually go this time. That was actually supposed to be my birthday present this year, and then they canceled. I was like, son of a bitch. But
Yeah.
tickets and VIP packages can be refunded at this point, at the point of purchase if need be. When the U.S. tour cancellation was announced last month, Lawless said in a statement, "The extent of the trauma I endured on the 2023 European tour was far greater than originally diagnosed, and surgery would now be needed to correct the problem. In addition to the original herniated disc, as the tour continued, a second disc became herniated. Upon returning home, a second MRI also revealed a broken vertebrae to my lower back." So I've been fortunate to work with the best specialists in the United States and have been in the extensive rehab since we got home. It's going well, but the damage was pretty extensive, and all the doctors agree moving the tour a few months back will be the safest thing. It's all been as the result of an injury that happened several years ago. I'm working my butt off to get ready, and I'll be up riding on my mic stand named Elvis, bigger and badder than ever. If the torture never stops, then the 40th never stops. So during the May 25th appearance on Sirius XM's Trump Nation with Eddie Trump, Lawless spoke about completing Wasp's recent European tour while seated after suffering the herniated disc in his back. He said that past Monday was his 10th anniversary from when he broke his right femur. And it's a long, complicated story, but what's been going on with my back is a direct reflection of what happened with that femur being broken, which I can see that your legs kind of balance you. So
Hmm.
because I wore a lift for 9 years and came to find out I did not need that lift. Oh shit! And that was only determined last summer, so the lift was taken out. But the spine had adjusted to me walking on that with that lift, and when we took it out, then that's when the problem started. And it actually started at the beginning of the U.S. tour, and I was able to get through the U.S. tour okay, and we thought it had settled into place. But when we got to Europe, we quickly discovered about 2 weeks into the tour that was not the case. And what was happening is that the vertebrae was compressing some of the disc. I ended up rupturing the disc, and then that starts leaking out a gelatin that then wraps itself around the nerves coming out of the spinal cord, and that then creates this thing called nerve pain. And we know about that, right? And I
Yeah.
don't know if
Yes, we do.
people understand what that is because I had heard of it, but I had never experienced it before. And it is a pain that you cannot imagine. It is unlike anything you've ever experienced before. The 66-year-old guitarist vocalist, whose real name is Stephen Duran, continued, "I had to go to Berlin 4 times to get treatment. I received 8 epidurals throughout the tour. That was the only way I was getting through it because the pain is literally off the charts. And the doctors were told to, and the doctors had told me that this thing can become so intense people commit suicide from it." Oh shit! And I can see why people would do that. The first time I had to go in, you have to go into a surgical center because it's not something that can be done in a regular doctor's office. So we were in a hospital in Berlin. So they take me into the surgical room or the operating room and told me, he said, "Now I'm going to inject this needle or insert this needle into you, and I'm going to touch your spinal cord with it." He said, "I want you to be ready for this." Now I didn't know what he meant until he did it. And when he did, I really don't have accurate words to describe what that feels like. The closest way I can explain it is it felt like an explosion, like a bomb went off inside my leg. And he said, I'm going to have to do this one more time. And I swear to you, I grabbed the table with both hands. You see these movies about mafia and things like that where they're pulling guys' fingernails off with pliers. You don't need that, Lawless added. You just know, you just show somebody a needle that they'll give up their kids. I'm here to tell you, there's nothing like it. I mean, you cannot fathom it unless you've been through it. So anyway, they were able to keep me running, but they were afraid that I was going to do further damage. So the deal was halfway during the tour that I would pull back about 50% of the movement that I was doing. But it started getting worse and worse. And we got to Zurich about 2.5 weeks ago, and something happened during the show, and I knew something wasn't right. And that's when we went to the sitting after that. We got home that Saturday, and I went straight to the doctor's office, and they looked at me and said, "Okay, let's do some new pictures." So we did new pictures that Monday. I have a theme. They determined this is Berlin. It's called mechanical compression, Blackie revealed, and what that means is you get vertebrae that start pushing against each other, but they grind against each other at the same time because they start to cramp. When we were doing that show in Zurich, it was cramping really bad and I couldn't get it to stop. And I was literally hanging onto my mic stand while I was trying to sing and play at the same time. So we did the new pictures that Monday, and I have a cracked vertebrae now in my spine. But as bad as that sounds, it's not the first time it happened. Lawless said it happened the first time in '92 on the Crimson Idol tour. I got a little too close to the edge of the stage one night, and some of the fans pulled me off stage into the audience, and I ended up upside down in the crowd, and they fell on top of me, and I broke my vertebrae then as well. Oh my God. So this is
Eesh.
the second time I've been through this, so it'll heal on its own. I start therapy tomorrow. It's a swimming pool thing that I'm going to have to do to start first, but they say they're going to have me up to speed in about 8 weeks to start the tour, so I'll be ready to go. Wasp's massive European leg of the 40th anniversary tour wrapped on May 18th in Sofia, Bulgaria at the Universiada Sports Hall. Produced by Live Nation, the North American leg of Wasp's 40th It Never Stops World Tour was scheduled to kick off on August 4th at the Fremont Theater in San Luis Obispo, California, making stops across North America, Vancouver, British Columbia, Omaha, Nebraska, New York City, Memphis, Tennessee, and more before wrapping it up on September 16th at the Hollywood Palladium in Los Angeles. Special guest Armored Saint was supposed to join the band across the 33 dates of the tour, which was one of the reasons I wanted to go. Wasp wrapped up its first U.S. tour in 10 years with a sold-out show on December 11th, 2022 at the Wiltern in Los Angeles. This marked the 18th sold-out show for the U.S. tour, which kicked off late October 2022. Wasp's performance included the return of the band's classic song, Animal Felt Like a Beast, which hadn't been played in over 15 years. Lawless has led Wasp as its lead vocalist primary songwriter since the beginning. His unique brand of visual, social, and political comment took the group worldwide heights and sold millions of records alongside a legacy of sold-out shows across the globe for 4 decades. He is joined by bassist Mike Duda and guitarist Doug Blair, whose tenures in the band span 28 years and 17 years, respectively, along with a drummer extraordinaire, Achilles Preister. So that's the current lineup, I guess, there. So but
Mm-hmm.
I included all that because I didn't know all that story that led up to this. So so it's kind of, I mean, we knew a little bit, but I didn't know like it was that intense. Like I didn't know he had that happen back in '92. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And then the current tenure with the band members is pretty impressive. I think these days, 28 and 17 years, you don't see a lot of that anymore. So,
No, no, you don't. And that headache he was talking about, I've had one of those
oh yeah,
because I've got 3 herniated discs in my back, and I've got spinal
hmm
stenosis, and I've got sciatica and shit like that.
yeah,
And I don't know how. Well, actually, I do know how long ago this was. It was before Kayla was born. It was in 2001.
mm,
I had some steroid injections done to my back to try to. I was going through a course of steroid injections for treatment, and the second round that I had, the doctor ruptured one of the sacs of spinal fluid around the disc, and
uh,
same thing had that Blackie had happened. I had happened. The
mm,
spinal fluid leaked out, and it caused
mm,
the absolute worst headache I have ever had in my goddamn life. And
Mm.
I don't ever want to experience that again. I didn't go back for the third treatment after that. And no, so I know exactly what that
Yeah.
was like because I've been through that. I wouldn't wish that shit on anybody. That
Yeah.
is I know
It
some
seemed like
people
they
I
would
know
have a. I was gonna say, it seemed like they would have better ways of doing it, with the
yeah,
advancement of
I don't know.
medicine. But
Yeah, I don't know. Well, like I say, this was back in 2001, so I mean, we're
you know.
talking 22 years ago, but
Well, I mean, he's even talking about them shooting him with like an epidural and stuff.
yeah,
It's like, damn, man,
that's
and
that's what it was. That's what I went
yeah,
through.
and I don't know why they
And
don't like give you a nerve block or something if they're going to do that anyway. That would be
I don't know.
probably the thing to do because you
Well,
could
see that
move or twitch some certain way, and I mean, it's fucked because
yeah,
they could paralyze you. So,
that was the funny thing is like is I didn't know that it happened at the time because I had that second
mm-hmm.
treatment, and then I actually took my mom and I actually took off to Michigan because I was going on a tour of a broadcasting school just outside of Detroit, and it hit me as I was going on the tour. So I'm walking around on the tour of this broadcasting school, and all of a sudden I was like, "Holy shit! What the hell's going on? What the hell is going wrong?" And the woman showing me around, and she's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No, I am not okay. I am absolutely not okay." So, but long
Start
story
doing this.
short, yeah, like, yeah, long story short, that's what happened. So I know exactly what Blackie Lawless is going through. Is well, it was going through as far as having that spinal fluid leak out. That is no joke at all. Oof, yeah. So I feel for him. I really do. All right. Staying over at the PRP, crowd. Don't read the headline. Don't read the headline. Read the story. Bassist Sam Allen of Anxious, etc., broke his tibia while performing on stage with Wreckage during this past weekend's This Is Hardcore Fest in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Allen will soon be undergoing surgery to heal properly from the injury. As it turns out, he had previously underwent surgery on the same leg this past April, having completed his recovery process in June. In light of once again being laid up to convalesce, he'll be forced to sit out Anxious's touring plans this fall. Crowdfunding has been launched to help cover some of his bills over at GoFundMe.com. There's a hyperlink in the story. The following was said of his plight. Quote, last weekend while performing with Wreckage at TIHC, my friend Sam from Anxious broke his tibia right beneath the knee joint.
Mm.
Ow. He is going in for surgery again next week to have the bone set with a metal plate and some screws. This is another setback for Sam. He just recovered in June from a surgery he had on the same leg in April. The doctor is now saying he will be off of his feet for at least 6 more weeks following this surgery. Unfortunately, this means he will have to miss an Anxious tour this fall that was going to help pay his rent for the next few months and also prohibits him from
Mm.
getting another job. Currently, he has no idea what he's looking at in the way of medical bills, which will definitely be quite a burden on top of his normal living expenses while he is out of work for most of the rest of this year. Let's pitch in and ease his financial stress so he can focus on his recovery. Small or large, every contribution counts. Let's help Sam get back on stage where he belongs. End quote. And like we've talked about with other GoFundmes before, whether it be to cover funeral expenses, or I know I've been talking about Hidden Intent and their
Mm.
ongoing European tour. Every little bit does help. Anybody listening to the show, anybody out there who has seen the story on the PRP, 5-10 bucks at a time, multiplied by hundreds or thousands of people, it adds up really quick. So, I mean, if there's any way
Yeah.
you guys have any money to donate, go over to GoFundMe. I'm assuming if you type in Sam Allen, like Anxious, Wreckage, something like that, there are probably some keywords that you could use to find the campaign. Or like I say, over at theprp.com, you find the story talking about it. There is a hyperlink in the story that'll take you right there. So
Good deal. All right. So, like we weren't on a rant. Sorry, if we weren't on a rat. Yeah, we were on a rat earlier, running around the house, and was on a rant earlier. This guy's noted to do that a few times. This one over from Blabbermouth. The Twisted Sister frontman Dee Snider visited Rock City Music Company in Livonia, Michigan on July 19th to participate in a very special in-store event to celebrate the release of his novel Frats. Dee was involved in a moderated question and answer session hosted by Detroit radio legend Doug Podell of 106.7 WLLZ. Familiar with that?
The wheels. Hell yeah.
Yeah. The Q&A featured insights into why D wrote Frats, opinions on the bands who and opinions on bands who stick around past their due date, his reasons for going head to head with Congress in '85, and the future of his recording and performance career. Speaking about Twisted Sister's decision to retire from touring in 2016, D said in part, as transcribed by blabbermouth.net, I didn't lose the passion for the music. I didn't lose that at all. My last two solo albums, Leave a Scar and For the Love of Metal, were stronger and de- sort of de-surging. I see what he did there. I lost the willingness to get old on stage. I don't want you guys to watch me age out. I read a review once that said, and it was actually a positive review about Twisted Reunion, which was ages ago now. But it said when a band reunites and they're good, it makes you feel young again. But when they're bad, it makes you realize how old you have gotten. He continued, and people were coming to see Twisted and coming to see me, and people were smiling. But I know, look, I'm not a bitcher or moaner. But I've had knee surgery, shoulder surgery, throat surgery, neck surgery. I can't lift my arms up. It hurts when I throw the horns. Fuck, it's not supposed to hurt. So I'd rather walk off with some dignity and leave you guys with a positive memory saying we wanted more than to overstay your welcome and say, gee, when's that guy going to get off the fucking stage already? You know? So I see people singing Crazy Nights and they're not so crazy anymore, Snyder said. I'm not going to name names. Well, you just kind of did, but I
Yeah,
always
yeah, a
bitch
little bit.
about people who retire, sell us the No More Tours T-shirts, of course, other than Ozzy, and then come back a few years later. We love you. That's bullshit. And people say, well, that's fucked up. No, stay forever, man. Stay forever. We don't want you to leave. Just don't do a 3-year farewell tour. Scorpions, and when you say you changed your mind because you haven't played it every place, no, you've played every place twice. uh, Blue Oyster Cult have on tour forever jackets forever. God bless them. You do it. D said it's not gonna be on tour forever. I'm gonna walk off into the sunset waving and smiling. They previously talked about bands who reunite after completing farewell tours in 2020 interview with Ultimate Guitar, speaking about the current trend of bands who come out of retirement for new runs of shows such as Motley Crue, Rage Against the Machine. D said, I think it's bullshit when you say farewell. Rage Against the Machine breaks up. That's not retirement. They broke up and they reformed, and that's great. But when you do a farewell tour, you announce this and you sell tickets and you have a T-shirt that says "No More Tours." Thank you very much, Ozzy Osbourne. I bought one of those, and when you
Yeah.
come back, that's bullshit. So when you say we're retiring, people now don't take it seriously. So you know it's kind of like a joke, and I think that is a part of it that these artists have nothing else going on. And I realized that without playing, they have no career. In 2016, Twisted Sister embarked on one final trek titled 40 and Fuck It in celebration of its 40th anniversary. These shows featured the band's core lineup of Snyder, guitarist J.J. French, guitarist Eddie Ojeda, and bassist Mark Mendoza, along with drummer Mike Portnoy. The band's last ever concert took place in November of that year, 20 months after the passing of Twisted's longtime drummer A.J. Pero. So that's kind of something we talked about before too. Like if you're going to go, then that's fine. I mean, we don't want you to, but don't go out doing tours trying to goddamn take advantage of the fucking people that come to see you. The fans. I feel like that's taking advantage of the fans. If you have no doubt in your mind you're done, great. Uh,
How
how do
do
you feel
how
about
how
bands that break up or lose someone and replace the member but keep the name? I'm guessing that's probably a Pantera reference.
well
So, uh,
well, I mean, not necessarily, because I mean, like I talked about at the beginning of the show, John Five replaced Mick Mars.
well,
You
true.
know, so it all by and large, I don't have an issue with it. I do know that there has been some instances of
Mhm.
a band going out and there are no original members. I kind of have a little bit
Right.
of an if Pantera,
Fear
Fear Factory,
Factory,
Yellow,
Drowning
yeah,
Pool.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I, by and large, I don't have a problem with it as long as there
Mm,
are still a couple original members, because
right.
like you said, Pantera's out right now. Phil and Rex are still there. I think they
Mm,
have every right to tour, under Pantera.
mm,
Now there was now before the tour started, there was a rumor floating around. Well, not a rumor, but somebody kind of floated the idea to Charlie Benante about there being new Pantera music. That wouldn't have worked.
right.
That wouldn't have set well with me. So
Right.
they brought in Charlie and they brought in Zach Wild, and they're going around, and Phil and Rex are going around, and they are celebrating the legacy of Pantera, and that's fine.
Right.
You know, Burton C. Bell and Dino Cazares, they had a falling out. It's basically Dino's band anyway. So
Yeah.
Dino kept the band together. He got himself a new singer, and that's fine. Obviously we know what happened with Drowning Pool. Dave Williams
Mm,
passed away, and they kept on moving. So by and large, I don't have a problem with it. I don't, like I say, as long as there's one or two original member. I mean, hell, we talked to Drew Fortier not too long ago about Bang Tango, and Bang
mm,
Tango is technically still around with one of the original members.
right.
As far as I'm concerned, as long as there's one original member, I don't really have an issue with it. Um, do now, like I say, I don't think Pantera should make new music. If that group wants to get together and make new music, call it something else because it won't be
Yeah.
Pantera. So,
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not opposed. I'm not opposed to that group making music. Can't be
so
Pantera.
I think the difference is with Pantera though is like they have such a distinct sound. I don't think you
Yep.
can go and keep going with that sound because
No.
even Zach said he can't play a lot of Dime shit. I mean,
Right. And
and
when and when
that's
and
just how good
when
Dime is,
yeah,
or
I
was.
was gonna
Sorry.
say when that guy says he can't play something,
Right.
yeah,
That should tell you something. So,
yeah. So
um,
you're dealing with a unique talent, and we all knew how much of a unique talent Dimebag was anyway.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but that's
yeah,
just that's just the
yeah,
ultimate respect when one of the other great guitarists in heavy metal says, "Man, he's got shit on me. He's got shit on me. I can't play." So and there was friendship and there was respect and admiration and all that shit between them anyway. Even going way back before everything happened with Vinny and Dime. So great question, by the way. Thank you very
yeah.
much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think there is a difference though if you're talking about a band that lost members, to being deceased. I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
a whole different story
It
than
is
just changing a member because you can't get along.
right.
To me, like I hate that for Fear Factory because I said when the last album came out, I thought that was Burton C. Bell's best vocal work. And for it to end the way it did was kind of
Mm-hmm.
heartbreaking because, like I said, you know, I'm a fan. That was the best work to me, and I feel like they could have kept being strong, and just kept getting stronger going forward.
Yeah.
Now I've
Well,
heard the new singer, and he's good. I mean,
yeah.
he can hit all the stuff that Burton did. So I mean, we'll see how it works out. I guess on some new stuff, but they've been recording like older stuff, which to me, like I don't want to hear. I want to hear what you can do. You know what I mean? I don't want you to hear you trying to
Mhm.
replicate what somebody else has done. I want to
Right.
hear what you can do. What
Yeah.
are
You're.
you
Yeah.
bringing to Fear Factory that's making me stay a fan? Um, it sucks with what happened with Johnny here. I'm gonna put it on the screen. I don't know why I'm just not doing that. It sucks what happened with Johnny Pool, but I feel they should have changed the name. They still play the old songs, but I feel like it's hanging over their head. I mean, yes and no, because like he only got through one album and one tour. So I
Mhm.
mean, it
Yeah.
wasn't like they had built a legacy, I guess. Um, were they going to be huge? Oh, I mean, they would have been a lot huger than what they are now.
Yeah. They
If
would. They
if he
would have
was,
been.
yeah, if he was still alive, yeah, Dave would have took that band way bigger than what they are now.
Yeah.
No offense against Ryan McCombs. Ryan McCombs is a great fucking vocalist, and I think that's probably their better vocalist after Dave, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And he's actually back with the band now, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, I kind of agree with that. Yeah, I don't know if they should have changed their name really, but yeah, I get where he's coming from.
Yeah, because because Drowning Pool, even though Dave Williams, he only made it, like you say, through one album,
Yeah.
one tour. Drowning Pool, they were still an established act, and the members who remained after Dave passed away. I mean, I don't. Not that they would have been punished by changing the name or anything like that, but I mean, you put the work together to start a band, and like I say, Drowning Pool was established and was building a fan base. So I mean, it would have
Well,
been for them. It would have been starting over, and
exactly.
you know, it
Yeah.
would have been like, hey, we used to be in Drowning Pool, but our vocalist died, so we changed the name. So I mean, I kind of I don't outright disagree, Neo, but like I say, I don't really have a problem with the rest of the guys finding a replacement singer and keeping the name. Another more recent example is what Static X is doing with their
Hmm.
tribute to Wayne and everything. Everybody knows, well, everybody should know by now that Edsel Dope is
Yeah.
basically taking the place of not taking the place of that's kind of not accurate, but he is stepping in and he's playing the role of Zero, the front man with the
He
with the
kind of
Wayne Static.
joined a pay tribute.
Yeah, he did. So he joined to pay tribute, and I don't really have. I really don't have a problem with what they're doing either, because it's still three of the four guys, the guys who were
Mhm.
playing the music. Wayne was singing the
And,
songs, so
and Ethel and Wayne were really good friends.
yeah,
So
they were. So he stepped in, and Edsel has gone on record as saying it's not about me, because Edsel
mhm.
still has never come out and said, yeah, I'm the guy behind the mask, because he said
But I mean, but and Static X have been touring together for how long now, and it's kind of obvious. But
well,
so,
it's absolutely obvious,
uh,
but I mean, but he said the focus isn't on, the focus is on,
right.
paying respect to the legacy of Static X and Wayne Static and everything, and that's what it should be about. So, but
Yeah.
yeah,
And
again.
I think he's more like I have a band already. I'm just trying to keep
Mhm.
this sound. I'm just trying to keep Static X alive.
Yeah.
So for all the, and I think that's kind of where Pantera. Because I mean, if you think about it, Pantera reforming and going out on tour now, people that are 20 years old have never seen Pantera live. I mean, it's just this. I mean, because like I said, they broke up, too long ago for these people to even remember
Right.
the older stuff. So
Yeah.
so they're coming into something. They're hearing these songs that were coming out in late 89 and 90 and 92 and 94 and all this other stuff, and
Mhm.
they're not familiar with it, but they
Right.
like it. So how else would they see it live? I mean,
Yeah.
um,
And I don't
for
and I
anybody out there that's seen Diamond Vinny, and hats off. I never got to either. So
yeah.
unfortunately, we've talked about that on the show before, but
Yeah.
it was by every fault of my own, not because
Yeah.
I could, not nothing to do with Pantera not being in my city. They were here many times, but
Mhm.
but things just didn't work out for me to
Yeah,
ever get there,
yeah,
unfortunately.
life
So
life does get in the way sometimes.
but I have been to Texas and visited both of their graves, so
Yeah.
that was pretty intense. So
And you actually had the opportunity to do that before they fenced it off.
exactly, yeah. So yeah, it was kind of crazy. I haven't. I think Hidden Intent it just went down there after it got fenced because they showed a picture before where
They
they went years ago, and then showed a picture where they just got fenced
Mhm.
off. So
They
so
did. Yeah.
that was kind of wild, but
Yeah, the
yeah. So
last yeah, the last time they were here on tour with Angelus Apatrida, they got to go
mhm,
back to the site, and they did
yeah.
post pictures of the fenced off grave site. So yeah.
I mean, we could talk about other bands in that category probably all night too. But
Probably. Yeah. And it's actually, but actually,
is it my turn? Your turn?
uh, my turn. It's my turn. But
Okay.
but it's
Okay.
it's funny that it's funny that it's actually funny that this came up though, Neo, because you bring up a good point. Because I saw something not too long ago where Gary Rossington, the last original
Mhm.
member from Leonard Skinner who just passed away, um, his wife gave the remaining members of the band permission to just keep touring as Leonard Skinner. Which
I
to
mean, if
me,
that's the
which to
if
me,
that's
which to me at this point, I'm okay with. I mean, it's all well and good that they got permission from the estate because I mean, hell,
mhm,
Phil and Rex got permission from Vinny and Dime's estate to go ahead and
right,
so they got the blessing. But again, Phil and Rex were members of the band already. None of these people who are
mhm,
left over are Leonard
right,
Skinner. None of these people left over are Leonard Skinner. So I mean, that's to me Leonard Skinner should probably just pack it in. But you know,
yeah,
it's not not my call. So
yeah.
not that Leonard Skinner's heavy metal, but just
Well,
talking,
yeah, just for an example,
just
yeah,
the
in
topic at
general.
hand. But yeah, the topic at hand. But yeah, thank you, Black Neo 5150. Like I say, great question, Black Neo 5150, joining us on the chat from Twitch. We appreciate
Appreciate
you
it.
checking out the show. All right, still over at the PRP.com. Jorge Hoyarac Guerra, I think it's Guerra, I'm not sure, has announced that he has exited NYHC institution Madball. Hoya has been handling the bass and backing vocals in the group across two stints, which began in 1993 and ran through up until this year. He revealed his departure in a statement shared on August 8th via his social media. It reads as follows. Quote, "What's up, everybody? I have a little announcement. I am no longer playing bass in Madball. There is no beef or anything like that, and I wish them the best moving forward and always with love. Thanks to everybody who supported me through the years. I love you all. My family is better than ever, and your boy is not done yet. If anything, I'm only getting started. Look out for my channel, Smokin' Word TV, and keep those ears open for a lot new music drops everywhere. Always with mad love, and now on to the next episode." Hoya Rock, Smokin' Word TV, The Heavy Collective, The Hard Corner, The Union, True Union, Smoke, AXD. End quote. I don't know what exactly all that shit is at the end. Probably a bunch of his, probably
Uh,
some of his websites and social media accounts. I don't know. An appearance on the One Life, One Chance podcast with H2O's Toby Morse saw Guerra further explain his decision to step down. Quote, "I got 2 more European tours and your boy is calling it a wrap, all right? Shout out to the guys in the band. I love them and everything, but the fact is the band slowed down too much and I'm on double time right now. Right now, financially and mentally, it isn't enough for me. I got a lot of things that I want to do. And like I was telling you, my children eat a lot. Don't I know it? I got to be working and the band slowed down. It's harder for me to make things happen, but there's no beef. It's all love. I wish them all the best, but I'm only doing the next 2 European runs and that's it." End quote. So there you go.
Chrono Snatchers.
Yeah.
This was kind of interesting. This one over from Blabbermouth. Penelope, I'm going to probably kill this name, Sparris, I think is the last name. Unreleased documentary, We Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll, will be screened at the David Geffen Theater in Los Angeles, California on Friday, August 18th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. The 90-minute film, which was shot in the late 90s, includes interviews and live footage with Slipknot, Static X, and System of a Down, along with plenty of backstage action. This is also there. Oh, what the hell? They just threw like 3 or 4 damn pronouns together there. What the fuck? I think they meant to say there is also a lot of focus on Black Sabbath. It was like there is or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck? But it's like it was
Someone
all
didn't
like
proofread.
together. It was like THEIRIS. What the fuck? Then it says there is. So I think they was trying to say there is and just kind of like combined it or something. I don't know what they're typo on their part. I copy and paste, so whatever errors there is on them.
Right. Yeah.
There's also a lot of focus on Black Sabbath's Ozfest '99, which was billed as the band's final ever performance in the United States. Tickets for the screening are available for purchase at academymuseum.org. We Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll was screened at a number of film festivals more than 20 years ago, but it never made a wide released after being held up in what has been reported as music copyright issues. Back in 2008, Sharon Osbourne commented on the status of We Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll in response to an article that was posted on Todd Martin's extended play blog on the Los Angeles Times website. At the time, she wrote in an email, "We would love for We Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll to eventually be released. We didn't invest over $1 million in the movie to keep it locked away. In reality, we were unable to secure the necessary music licensing and talent releases from all the bands that participated in the documentary. We needed a substantial amount of money to secure these releases. So as a business proposition, it just didn't make sense to pour even more money into the project. We all tried to find an independent backer to come in, but we were unable to find anyone. As far as not allowing Penelope Ferris to show the documentary at film festivals, please see below the list of festivals where I know that the film was shown. They was shown at the Sundance Film Festival in 2001, the SXSW Film Festival in 2001, Melbourne International Film Festival 2001, Sydney Film Festival 2001, Singapore International Film Festival 2001, Silver Lake Film Festival 2001, Chicago Underground Film Festival in 2001, and then San Francisco Independent Film Festival and Boston Underground Film Festival in 2002. I also arranged for 2 industry screenings in Los Angeles and London. I totally financed at great expense in an attempt to find a distributor for the film. Tell me, what sense does it make for us to invest $1 million in a film to let it sit? I truly wish that Penelope had found us an independent backer so we could have finished the project. Let her find us a backer to complete the project, and we'll do it. When it was first screened in 2001, we set ourselves for Rock and Roll won most popular documentary at the Melbourne International Film Festival. So it's obviously a pretty decent documentary to win awards. So kind of glad it actually is coming to light. So
I would like to see it.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. So, especially to see some of the backstage stuff from the shows with Static X and stuff like that. Especially like we just talked about Wayne Static not being around anymore.
Yeah. So, 99 was my first Ozfest too. That was the first one I was.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I can't remember what year I went. My wife's got the shirt still somewhere. like it's like the oldest shirt I have in my closet still is an Ozfest shirt. So,
yeah. All right.
Which I think I was a large. I think I was a large then. That's been a long time ago. That was 3 sizes ago.
Yeah. All right. Well. Speaking of Ozzy Osbourne, I'm gonna go over to Blabbermouth for one. According to
that's why I gave you the segue. So.
Yeah. According to the Irish News, a quad bike that was once owned by Ozzy Osbourne will be sold at auction later this month. No, not that quad bike. The legendary heavy metal singer bought the Suzuki Quad Runner 250 as one of an identical pair back in 1994. In 2003, Ozzy was seriously injured in an accident involving a different machine, a 350cc Yamaha Banshee, at his Buckinghamshire home that left him with a broken neck vertebra. The now 44, Jesus Christ. The now 74-year-old musician also broke his collarbone. Yeah, don't we all? The now 74-year-old musician also broke his collarbone and 6 ribs. Last December, the quad bike that nearly took Ozzy's life went up for sale, but the reserve had not been met by the time the auction ended. That quad bike still sports damage to the front crash bar and a crack in one of the rear wings. Ozzy was not wearing a helmet while riding the quad bike, later told ABC that absolutely no drugs or alcohol were involved in the incident. Quote, "It was just a terrible, terrible accident. The last thing I remember, what I do remember, is I got on the bike and something in my mind went, bad move. There's something really bad going to happen. And I go, whoa," end quote. Ozzy's bodyguard, Sam Ruston, who saw the incident, said, quote, "I see the bike hit some berms and it starts to bounce and Ozzy's holding on, but what happens is the back end of the bike comes up off the ground, throwing him forward and over the handlebars," end quote. Rustin revived Osbourne twice since he was not breathing. Eventually, Ozzy gained consciousness and was able to talk. He was then taken to the hospital where he ended up in an 8-day coma with multiple injuries. He also had to have metal rods put in his body. Osbourne recently canceled his appearance as one of the headliners of the Golden Voice produced Power Trip Festival set to take place in October due to his ongoing medical issues. While Osbourne's health issues forced him to scrap most of his live appearances, the legendary Black Sabbath frontman has repeatedly said that he would return if his condition improved. So if and when that happens, we look forward to it. But not the infamous quad bike, but still, of course we call them 4-wheelers here in the United States. But so if you wanna buy one of Ozzy Osbourne's 4-wheelers, you can do that.
So I wonder, like, if you're an ENT and you ride up on that and you're like hearing Ozzy talk, and you're like, man, this guy's incoherent as hell, man. Like,
He's probably suffering from some head trauma.
That's how he talks, motherfucker. I joke about that, but he's still suffering from that stuff. It's not funny at all.
Yeah, he's been suffering from some head trauma, but not from the not from the bike accident, Not from
also, like, a question would be, if you won that, do you fix it or do you just leave it tore up?
No. You don't fix it.
No, yeah.
No,
Well,
I
I mean,
don't.
I
No, I
wouldn't,
wouldn't.
but
No, no, I wouldn't.
I guarantee you some dumbass buys it and fixes it, restores it.
I wouldn't. Hell no.
Uh, because I mean, it's probably obviously it's an older bike too, so I mean, it
Yeah.
is going to be have some
Yeah,
some kind of
they're both 94 models that he bought at the same time.
yeah. So you're almost 30 years old, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's antique already.
Yep.
Yeah, your brother would be proud. We're talking about old stuff. So,
Yeah. Yeah, he would. He would.
uh, I know he's probably tired of me posting fucking hot rides in his fucking chat. So
No,
like,
I
damn, this
guarantee you
motherfucker
he's
don't know.
not.
He's like he don't know nothing but muscle cars, man.
No, 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 no. I guarantee you. I
No, I
guarantee
just
you.
like
I guarantee you he's
I
not
come
tired of
across
that.
these like weird things too. Like I don't know how this stuff shows up in my stuff, and I'm just like, man, that's like that damn Corvette Gremlin. Like, what the fuck is that?
That's yeah.
That
That's
was like the
somebody just
weirdest shit I've ever seen in my
yeah.
life.
I've seen some
Oh
of those
man.
are just they're just goofy automotive mashup pages. So I've seen a few of those.
Yeah, yeah. That's
But I
crossbreeding.
guarantee but no,
Shit,
I
man.
yeah, right. But no, I guarantee you he doesn't get tired of other people contributing
Oh
content.
no, I mean,
I guarantee
just
you
like
that.
yeah, just like I mean, our group, we enjoy the content because we're not on top of everything all the time. So I mean,
Well, yeah,
it's good to see different stuff. So and
absolutely.
plus we got a lot of bands in ours, so we kind of like to see what they're up to. So
Absolutely.
yeah, and unfortunately, like one of those bands that post all their stuff is not from the United States, and I'm like, damn, man, I wish I could go to your shit, but
Right?
I'm not. I know your show's only like $15, but I can't fly to Europe
No
and
shit. Yeah.
and see your shit. But,
Yeah.
anyway, although I would love to,
Yeah.
we love doing the local things, when we can. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this one's a real short one. It's over from Metal Sucks. When you've got a stage show as big as Metallica's, you generally need to transport all of your shit long distance through the use of massive semi trucks. And like most vehicles on the road, there's a non-zero chance those vehicles will get into an accident once they're on the road. Unfortunately for the people involved, this sort of thing happened to at least one of Metallica's big rigs on their way to Montreal. According to local news reports in upstate New York, the incident occurred while it was traveling north along I-87 near Lake George. As you can see in the initial imagery, which I can't see the picture, maybe I can pull it up in a minute. Things got pretty gnarly. Multiple vehicles were involved in the crash, which looks like it shut down the roadway, with both the huge equipment carrying truck and a truck transporting cars block things up. Luckily, it sounds like no one got injured, nor will this affect the band's ability to perform. So you can check out the witness footage there over at Metal Sucks. We're just thankful that no one got injured. Actually, I'll try to like pull that up and see if I can
Yeah.
find it real quick. Because I think I'm pretty sure it was like on the very front of stuff. So
I actually had I actually saw that story earlier today, and I kind of had it queued
yeah.
up in case one of us didn't have it. But yeah, what is it? I mean, Metallica in Montreal. Am I right?
Oh my God! I didn't even think about that. Holy, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Jesus. Here, let me share this real quick. I got it
But
pulled
yeah,
up here.
it looked pretty gnarly. Of course, the funny thing is, I've seen I've seen footage of some of the performances on this tour, and I've seen the size of the stage setup that they have going on. I wonder how many trucks it actually takes to transport that shit from city to city.
Oh, what am I trying
Whoa,
to
Inception.
do? Yeah, right. What the heck? Let me see here. It's blowed up. Why is it doing? Why didn't it do that? Oh wow, that's weird. You ain't never done that before. Let's do this. Let's try it again.
If you have the story pulled up in a separate tab, when you go to present photo, just click on the tab, and then you can select the tab you want to show up on the screen.
It's not. Let's see.
It's either tab or window. I can't remember what the header is. You can probably show it in a separate
Window or screen. Okay. Entire screen or Mozilla. Oh, it's telling me everything. Oh, okay. Let's see. Wow. All right. Well, it's got That's that was my that's why I did it. Duh. Oh, that's not what I'm trying to do. Why is it not doing it? That's weird. Well, I'm trying to show you guys then. Um,
The footage,
oh,
yeah, like if we're unable to get the footage pulled up on here, the story is probably at pretty much every outlet. I had it from the PRP. I know Blabbermouth had it, Metal Sucks had it. Pretty pretty big story, over the past, what was this? I think it was today or yesterday when it popped up. So
mm-hmm.
you'd definitely be able to find it if you guys want to check it out.
Oh, crap. Oh. Is it here? This one. Well, hell. Click the screen icon on your address bar to allow access. Oh, I can reload the page. We ain't doing that. Crap. All right. Well, anyway. Oh, let me see if I can see if I work this way. Let's try that. Sorry. Oh shit. Hit the wrong thing. Oh, stupid. Oh, my browser. Let's see. Quit. Oh man. Anyway, I don't think it's gonna let me do it. So anyway, if I get it to work, I'll pop it up here in a little bit. So
Yeah, that'd be fine.
yeah, I don't want to hold up the show. So
Well, that was that last story about Ozzy's four wheeler was the last story I had. So I don't know if you've
oh
got
okay.
any. I don't know if you have anything else before we run into the
Yeah,
headlines.
I still have one more. So
Okay.
let me is it in the address bar? Huh. Yeah, I don't know what I did, but I obviously set it up and it's blocking me now for some damn reason. So I apologize. um, anyway, I wish I could pop it on here somehow. No. All right. Anyway, I got one more. This one it's kind of one we touched on in the group. I kind of posted a little bit about this, so this is kind of I guess it's kind of an update, I guess. But anyway, this is over from Metal Injection. Behemoth recently sold a bunch of black teddy bears to raise money for the Polish arm of UNICEF. The band's donation was unreasonably turned away by UNICEF due to the nature of the messages accompanying the products you sell, or basically because Poland's UNICEF doesn't like Behemoth's overall message and imagery. Behemoth has now revealed that they've successfully donated the 10,000 zloty, I guess that's their currency there, which is
Mm-hmm.
about $2,485 in U.S. currency, to the Children's Hospital Spital. Oh man, I cannot pronounce that. Anyway, so a hospital in Polanki who clearly give a damn about what they're helping in the world. Behemoth's web store admin posted the following message on Instagram alongside a photo proving the donation. Legions, the whole profit from the sales of 100 teddies turned out to be rounded up to around 2,200 euros. We decided to directly support the biggest children's hospital in Nergals and my hometown of Polanki. They are making the real miracles and saving kids' lives. Thank you, Legions, for being so generous. The document attached is the transfer confirmation, which I wanted to post as proof we really did do this. So that's kind of one of the things that I think a lot of people were mad about when I posted it on the group. They were like, "What the fuck?" But yeah, like, why would you turn away something that's going to help a hospital or something? I don't get that.
Yeah.
It makes no sense whatsoever to turn away something that's supposed to help kids that are sick, man. That kind of makes you look like an asshole, not the
It
band.
really does. Yeah, it really
Yeah,
does.
even though you may not agree with what the band's imagery and stuff is, we've all talked about band imagery on here 100 times. That Slayer, Tom Araya said, "I'll put a pentagon on every damn album if it sells them." You know what I mean? It doesn't mean he's a devil worshiper. It's just like, you've done that to sell albums. I mean, you do what you have to do to sell your product. Um, for them to turn away something it'd be like, we talk about Corpse Grinder doing that all the time with stuff over here, going to claw
Yep.
machines and then donate the toys, so
Yep.
that would be like somebody like, "No, man, we can't do that because we don't like Cannibal Corpse's music." It's like, who gives a shit, man? Like, what you like. I mean, dude's trying to do something heartfelt for your hospital. Like, don't, or your nonprofit or whatever
Yeah.
UNICEF claims to be. But
Of course,
it's just,
the cool thing is in Corpse Grinder's case, he'd be like, "You have no idea what I'm singing about."
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sing it from the throat, buddy. Oh, wait.
Yeah, you have no idea what I'm singing about. You can't understand a word I fucking say.
I mean, that new song's not that bad though. So I don't know if you caught that.
No, I haven't yet. I'm going to.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Yeah.
I do need to. I did see that it was released. I haven't had a chance to go down and listen to it yet.
Yeah. So, other headlines here. We got John Bush has a new band with Shadows Fall, Exodus, and Ex Machine Head members. We already know Phil Dimmel's in that band. I don't know about the other one. I didn't go into it, but I don't know if you seen it or not. But
just the headline, like you.
Yeah, I didn't really go into it. I've been like scrambling all day because I was almost late for the damn show. I was trying to get shit to print out. So this is kind of something we've been talking about for a couple of weeks now. A new AI could read your mind and tell you what song is stuck in your head. I'm just going to be the first to say, no, thank you. I'll figure it out on my own. I don't need AI to be in. I don't need AIs in my head. Thank you.
Yeah, no.
We've been plenty of movies to know how that turns out. So
I have never had a song stuck in my head that I didn't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so
if you get something stuck in your head, there's a website. You just put the lyrics in, it fucking tells you what it is. It's like, like, we don't need an AI to tell me.
No.
So Iron Maiden has secret plans after their Power Trip performance.
I saw that.
Yeah. So I'm thinking,
hopefully, I'm just kind of hoping that Nashville is involved somehow.
Yeah. Secret plans. With Iron Maiden could mean a lot of things, but we know they said on that last album for a couple of years and put it in a vault just to make sure nobody released it. So who's to say they're not got other music already in a vault ready to go? So I'm almost positive they probably had other tracks that they did not put on that album that they probably would put on something else. So,
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But we'll see how that plays out in the next months ahead. So I think that Power Trip performance isn't far off. Is it?
It's in October. It's in October.
October. Okay, October. That's right.
Still not far. Month and a half.
It's still, yeah. So by the end of the year, we might know something. So we'll see. Dragon Force signed to Napalm Records and announced a North America tour, which maybe you have dates on that. I didn't do any tour dates this week, so I'm counting on you, Chris.
I may or may not have that.
Oh.
I may or may not.
Well, we'll see. Nikki Sixx claims Motley Crue was shocked when Mick Mars, quote, quit the band, which we know that's not what the fuck happened. This is kind of where I have a problem with that. It's like Mick Mars did not say he was out of the band. He said his doctor said that he didn't need a tour anymore, which, with his health the way it is, I don't blame him. You can still
Mhm.
put Mick Mars on an album and take John 5 on fucking tour with you. And that's the way I look at it. Without Mick Mars, Motley Crue does not go and be Motley Crue. We know what happened with him being the guitarist. You know, the dude that was there couldn't fucking hit a lick with live wire. He come out there and fucking ripped it out and said, "Hey, you're out of the band. I'm a new guitarist." So I mean, it's kind of like this without this guy doing the live wire, Motley Crue would not be the Motley Crue that we know.
Nope.
Uh, so I don't understand why you shit on him like that. It really pisses me off that they didn't at least say, "Hey, well, you can do the album stuff, and then we'll take another guy on tour with us." I mean, how hard is that? I mean, people do it all the time. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, you should. I mean, you should have at least. You should have at least, at minimum, had that discussion. Because I mean,
right.
out of the, because we've talked about this before. Of the four guys, if it wasn't for the fact that Mick Mars is sick, you never would have heard anything from him except his guitar playing.
Yeah.
He's the only guy in the band that didn't do anything stupid. He can't help that he's got a medical condition.
Yeah, sucks, but I still have a problem with that. That he quoted it, quit the band. Like, no, he didn't quit the band. You fucking pretty much kicked him the fuck out of
Mm-hmm.
it, pushed him out, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which I
Hostile
still don't know
takeover.
how.
Yeah.
I still don't know like how that's because as far as I know, he still has an active lawsuit against them over that. So, uh,
Who knows?
Danzig had to postpone 2 shows due to a bus shortage. We talked about this. Is crazy, man. Like the bands that are out there that can tour can't tour because they can't get a damn bus to put their shit in.
Mm-hmm.
Anthrax has done that a couple times already.
They've
Like not that
canceled.
they can't.
They've
Yeah,
completely canceled 2 tours because of that.
yeah, because they can't find travel to get their stuff around, which is crazy. It seems like it happens a lot more overseas. I'm not sure where Danzig was touring, so I
It's
didn't really
it's it,
say.
it's U.S. tour.
Oh, it is a U.S. tour. That's
U.S.
crazy
tour.
to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to have a shortage over here, but
Yeah.
I guess they all went to Blue Ridge.
Better hope.
uh, anyway, Xtal teases their first new album in 10 years. So any fans of those guys, they got some new music coming, hopefully. Killswitch Engage is aiming to release their new album in 2024. So I like that we're starting to get a little bit more confirmation of hey,
Mm-hmm.
it is going to happen. I mean, they were saying that maybe late 24. Now they're saying in 24. So I don't think they were really set on it being in 24 at the beginning. So now they're saying, yeah, we're going to try to have it 24, which I mean, I don't see why they can't. Well, the main reason is Adam's working on some other stuff with the Howard Jones.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so that could be what's postponing a lot of it. This one's kind of a shots fired headline. Andreas Kisser on Sepultura reuniting with Max and Igor for their upcoming anniversary. He said, "Why would we do that? To ruin a party?" Oh my god! Oh man, that's a shot right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, uh, no disrespect to Dave Green at all. I mean, he's a great fucking vocalist, but doing roots and stuff like that, I'd rather hear Max do it. But
Same.
Scott Ian is hopeful that Anthrax's next album will be done by Christmas or New Year's. So hey, look there, man.
Cool.
We might get a last ditch effort from Anthrax this year. I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm gonna say Q1 of 2024. We'll see.
Yeah, I think that's a good. I think that's a good guess.
Velvet Revolver has a photo book coming soon, which that should be interesting with Slash and Scott Weiland being in that band. So, Hailstorm is going to focus on their next studio album after their fall 2023 European tour. Motley Crue's Dickie Six is working on his 5th book. At this point, I think it's probably going to be in the fantasy section.
Yeah, probably.
From the way he remembers conversations.
This is true. This is true.
Always crying like a bitch.
Oh.
Paradise Lost is slowly working on their next studio album. Halloween's Michael Kiske is suffering from acute meningitis, and their festival appearances were canceled. So hopefully he gets well, because we've actually said how Halloween is so much better with their all three vocalists. So,
I think
uh,
so.
yeah, I do too. I think that's kind of a niche that they have. Is a lot of bands that don't, a lot of bands don't. So uh,
I can't think of too many bands that have three singers.
yeah, that and they have 11 members.
Yeah.
Seems like it anyway. Uh, Lita Ford's long-awaited new album is to finally arrive in March of 2024. Guess she got tired of Nia Strauss and Sophie Lloyd taking over her spotlight. But,
Here's the thing though. I saw that headline and I was like, really, the long awaited album have people really been breaking their balls for a new Lita Ford album?
I'm sure most people read that headline and go, "Oh yeah, Lita Ford."
Yeah. Like I say, no,
I
I'm
think,
not trying to be disrespectful to Lita Ford,
well,
but
no, well, she's very talented.
it was like the long awaited part. It's like,
Yeah,
is it really though? I mean, is it really
yeah.
though?
Is it though?
Yeah, is it though? Yeah.
uh, and then I think I posted this one on the group there. Doug Ulrich confirms he has unreleased song collaborations with Ronnie James Dio that will finally
Yes.
see the light of day, which is unreal to even think about. So it's
Mm-hmm.
probably going to be phenomenal when it releases. This is also something I posted that we were kind of happy about. Mudvayne has 4 new songs in the works already, says Chad Gray. So
Yes.
new Mudvayne stuff next year.
Yep. Even if it's an EP, I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't either. Anthrax's Joey Belladonna joined Pantera on stage to perform Walk. That would have been something to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's kind of all the headlines that I had. So.
Nice. That puts a nice little bow on current events for this week.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'll hop into the hit in the road segment. Don't really have a ton of stuff this week. It was a little on the light side, but not too bad. So for the week of the 5th through the 11th, hitting the road, starting over at the PRP.com like always. We have Brujeria, Pinata Protest, and No Mas going on a fall tour starting November 2nd in Yuma, Arizona at the Red Moon Ale House, finishing December 10th in Pomona, California at the Glass House, no Nashville date. Monuments for the Fallen Dreams and Varsity are going on a tour of the United States this fall starting September 27th in Seattle, Washington at the Substation, finishing October 15th in Brooklyn, New York at the Meadows, no Nashville date. Fall Star, the ongoing concept, No Home, The Undertaking, and Lightworker have a Pacific Northwest tour scheduled for October. Those dates are October 19th in Seattle at El Corazon, October 20th in Spokane, Washington at the Big Dipper, 1021 in Portland, Oregon at the Misfits Lounge featuring the ongoing concept, and October 22nd in Bend, Oregon at the Volcanic Theater featuring the ongoing concept. Terror has scheduled some fall headlining shows starting September 2nd in Portland, Maine at the Portland House of Music, finishing September 30th in Brooklyn, New York at the Monarch. There's no Nashville date, but they will be in Nashville at the East Side Bowl on September 12th as part of the Hatebreed Tour.
Oh.
Yeah. Vexed and Pulse are going to the UK in October, starting October 10th in Glasgow, Scotland at Audio, finishing October 15th in Cambridge, UK at the 6-6. John 5 and the Creatures are going on a tour in 2024, starting January 26, 24 in Santa Ana, California at the Observatory, featuring Jared James Nichols, and finishing March 1st, 2024 in San Diego, California at the Observatory North Park. No Nashville date there. I'm getting an echo of myself. There we go. It disappeared. Okay. Conjurer and the Unpeople are going on a tour of the UK in September, starting September 9th in Peterborough, UK at the Met Lounge, finishing September 17th in Derby, UK at the Hairy Dog. Lionheart, Suicide Silence, Kubla Khan, Texas, and Paleface Swiss are going on a European tour in 2024, starting February 14th, 24 in Berlin, Germany at Huxley's, finishing February 25th in Prague, Czechia at the Roxy. And Dragon Force, Amaranthi, Nano War of Steel, and Edge of Paradise are going on a North American tour starting October 20th in Mesa, Arizona at the Nile Theater. Nano War of Steel will not be at that show. Finishing November 19th in Los Angeles, California at the Wiltern. No Nashville date there. Unearth, Revocation, and Theos and High Command are going on a fall tour starting September 29th in Brooklyn, New York at St. Vitus Bar, finishing October 20th in Ottawa, Ontario at the Brass Monkey. They will be in Nashville at the East Side Bowl on October 4th. Frozen Soul, 200 Stab Wounds, Judiciary, and Tribal Gaze are going on a North American tour this fall, starting November 2nd in Atlanta, Georgia at the Masquerade Hell, finishing December 2nd in Houston, Texas at the Secret Group. No Nashville date there. Danzig, Behemoth, Twin Temple, and Midnight are going on a U.S. tour starting August 27th in Mesa, Arizona at the Mesa Amphitheater, finishing September 23rd in Ontario, California at the Toyota Arena, and that is one of those 2 rescheduled shows.
I was about to ask that. So
Yep. No Nashville date on that tour. Red Fang has set up a group of West Canada shows for September. September 19th in Vancouver at the Pearl. September 20th in Kamloops, BC at the Blue Grotto. September 21st in Kelowna, BC at the Jackknife Brewing. And September 22nd in Nelson, BC at the Massif at Eagles Lodge. The Omnific will be replacing Persephone due to financial reasons on the North American tour with Ne Obliviscaris and Beyond Creation. The Empire State Bastards have a fall European and UK tour starting November 2nd in Paris, France at Alhambra, finishing November 14th in Glasgow, Scotland at SWG3 TV Studio. Over at blabbermouth.net, Jeff Tate and Vanderberg are going on a 2024 tour starting February 17th in St. Charles, Illinois at the Arcada Theater, finishing on Stone Cold Steve Austin Day in San Antonio, Texas at the Aztec Theater. They will be in Nashville on March 5th at the, of all places, the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum's CMA Theater. And if you don't know what Steve Austin Day is, that's March 16th of 2024.
That's right.
For those of you who don't know.
316.
316. Cattle Decapitation, Immolation, Sanguisugabog, and Castrator are going on a fall tour starting November 10th in Santa Ana, California at the Observatory, finishing December 16th in San Diego, California at the Observatory North Park. No Nashville date there. And last but not least, Beyond Frontiers, Joey Belladonna's Journey Tribute Band is going on a summer and fall U.S. tour, starting August 22nd in San Diego, California at the House of Blues, finishing November 19th in Cocoa Beach, Florida at Area 142. No Nashville date there. That is hitting the road for the 5th through the 11th.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah, for some reason, it's not picking up the... It's not picking up any of my screens, extra screens that or tabs that I have open.
That's weird. It may be a Firefox setting. It might be.
Maybe that's weird. Huh. I mean, it shows like other stuff that I have open, but not the. There's a OneNote and then just the StreamYard thing. So, that's interesting. Huh. I wonder why. I mean, I put on there to allow it, so on the browser. So kind of strange. Let's see. Oh well. Anyway, we will move on.
All you can do.
All right, we will get into our theme of the week.
It's a good one too.
Oh yeah,
it's a good one.
Yeah, and I'm going to kick it off here.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm doing it this way is because I want to make sure I get this on the radio. So so I kind of led off with the new Angela Sapatrita song "Cold," just
That's
because
fine.
I want to make sure I put that on the radio. So I'm trying to get to where I'm putting newer music on there now. So I'm kind of mixing it up from our playlist, and now I'm trying to get newer music on there. So I'm still wanting to try to get a time frame and a day down to where one of us can go in there and just
do some live DJing.
Do some live DJing for a couple hours just for the new music segment. If nothing else, I at least want to do a new music segment on there. So
that would be cool. That'd be a cool place to start for sure, as far as doing anything live on the radio station.
Yeah, and because that way I can kind of like do the playlist, and like I could set the playlist for new music, and then I could just play that and then go back and forth in between the live and that. And then once
Hmm.
I'm done, I can move that over into the other playlist and then just keep adding the new songs into the other radio.
That makes
And
sense.
then it goes into the loop. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But that's kind of what I want to try to do. But we'll see. Numbers are actually up this week too on the radio station. So thank you
Nice.
if anybody out there listening has been listening to our radio station. We appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank
If
you.
you haven't, the link is running across the screen there at the bottom if you're watching. If not, you can check that out over at was it
Stream dot
www.
truly stream dot trulyradio247.com /8006.
There you go. You know it better than I do, and I'm on it. I'm on it all the time. So, but anyway, carry on the theme of the week: siblings, which is brothers, sisters, all that good stuff in the
Yep.
bands. So I kind of did some double dipping with some of this, but not with the same band. If that makes sense to you.
I
So
think I know where you're going with that.
yeah. So
I think
my
I know
next
where
one
you're
was
going with that.
Was Pantera Domination from Cowboys from Hell 1990. Of course, we know Dimebag and Vinny.
Hmm.
Go ahead and die. Toxic Freedom from the Go Ahead and Die album in 2021. If you don't know who they are Max and Igor Cavalera's band. Aside from one of their 1,000 other projects, but
You're
uh,
right.
yeah. Then I went with Hellstorm. I Get Off from the Hellstorm album 2009. Of course, AJ and Lizzie Hale are in that band. Then I went with Damage Plan Save Me from Newfound Power in 2004. Of course, that's another Dimebag and Vinny band.
Hmm.
So kind of after Pantera, and that's the band that unfortunately Dime played with. So then I went with Chevelle, Vitamin R leading us along from This Type of Thinking Could Do Us In from 2004. Of course, I think at that time all three brothers may have been in that band, but I can't remember.
Hmm.
Uh, then I went with Source of Rage, The Eyes of the Restless from Witness the Mess 2022, and there are three brothers in that band.
Yep.
Then I went with Gojira Only Pain from Magna 2016. Of course, that's Joe and oh my god, I just went blank.
Mario.
Mario, there you go, good plant thing. So I can't
it
believe I did that. I'm like, anyway,
it happens
uh,
sometimes.
yeah. And then I went with At the Gates, The Paradox from the Nightmare of Being in 2021. Then I went with Obituary Violence from Inked in Blood 2014. And then I went with Lamb of God. Now You've Got Something to Die For from Ashes of the Weight 2004. And I only did that because Willie and Chris were both in the band during that album. So
Hmm.
then I went with God Forbid, Reject the Sickness from Sickness and Misery 2007. And that's Doc and Dennis Coyle, I
Dallas.
think.
Dallas.
Dallas. That's right.
Yep.
Close enough.
Yeah.
I got the
Yeah.
first and last letter right.
You did. So how many did you end up with? How many was that?
12, I think. So
Okay, that's cool. I had 13, and that's only because, and there will be more. I'm absolutely going to add
oh
more.
yeah,
What I
I
but
am too. So
but what I did is I made, because I could have gone. I mean, we could have gone nuts just with Pantera alone,
well
but
yeah. I mean,
I made sure that the bands I included, I picked one song per band, and then I just stopped at one point. But the good thing is I've got 13, you have 12, we have 25 altogether. So that the list is going to be a minimum of 25 because we didn't have any doubles, which is very, very cool. So, but yeah, there are some bands on here that I am going to add others because I'm going to add songs off of other albums. But so I didn't want to end up with 25 because I definitely could have done that, but I could have. But leading off this week, I went with Dead Eyes See No Future by Arch Enemy off Anthems of Rebellion from 2003. Then I had What I Always Wanted by Kitty off of Oracle from 2001. Then I had Shedding Skin by Pantera off of Far Beyond Driven from 1994. Washington is Next by Megadeth off United Abominations from 2007. The Drover brothers were both on that album.
yeah.
Had Redneck by Lamb of God off of Sacrament from 2006. Then I had Breathing New Life by Damage Plan off of Newfound Power from 2004. Then I had Antihero by God Forbid off of Gone Forever from 2004. Then I had 10,000 Ways to Die by Obituary off their self-titled album from 2017. Then I had Purify Me by Source of Rage off Witness the Mess from 2022. Then I had Kai Tangata by Alien Weaponry off their album 2 TU from 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went way back for a couple. I had Running with the Devil by Van Halen off of their self-titled album from 1978. Then I had For Those About to Rock, We Salute You by AC/DC off the album of the same name from 1981. Then I had Angela Sapotrita on my list, but I went way back to You Are Next off of The Call from 2012, a song that I don't believe we've had on any of our lists before.
Probably
The
not.
many lists that I know we've had Angela Sapotrita on.
Yeah.
So I went back a little ways for one, but I definitely don't have a problem with the brand new song added because good God, that is an amazing song.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll definitely get
We,
this one compiled and collaborated and
I was
posted for you guys.
I was gonna go back to like '78 too with the Scorpions, but I didn't really know a lot of songs off that album, so I was like, yeah, just leave it alone.
Yeah, I looked at that, but then I looked at some of the songs. It's like I don't know if those are
Yeah,
really anything that was a hit
yeah,
necessarily. So I
yeah.
kind of
People probably would know. Yeah,
passed them over too for that reason.
yeah.
But
Except they were because Michael and Rudolph were only on the one album together because
yeah,
they probably would have killed each other 3 albums in. So
I was about to say they've been threatening to kill each other ever since. So
it's like, oh, we cannot fucking work
yeah, no.
together.
So
Oh
so yeah,
man.
we'll this will definitely be more than a 25 song playlist. I guarantee you
Well,
that.
yeah, because I mean, Igor and Max have been in like 3 bands together, so I mean, I could
Yeah.
definitely go and do some stuff for that too.
Oh
So
yeah.
we can go back to some old Sepultura too. So,
Hmm.
which by the way, speaking of that, I think my wife just made me fall in love with her more the other day. She's like, I had her in charge of the music, and she goes, we don't listen to this band enough," and it was Sepultura. I'm like, "Oh my god, are you serious?" Like, I'm like, "Damn, I was about ready."
you about you about ready to what? Oh man, he froze when he was telling us what he was about to do. I think it was about to get nasty. But yeah, there were a couple of bands where I was like, I could add 3 or 4 different songs off of 3 or 4 different albums, but I was like, nah, it's just going to be too long of a list. What I'll do is I'll add some songs in after we get everything collaborated and compiled, and then if you want to see what other songs get added to the list, then you'll just have to check out the playlist on Spotify once it gets posted. So hopefully it'll be posted, Saturday, Sunday, somewhere around there, but I've been a lot better about making sure the playlist gets put up. I know there was a couple of times where it got to like Tuesday, Wednesday, and I completely forgot to get it done. And I was like, oh shit. So hell, there was one time where Jason had to text me. He's like, did you get the playlist taken care of? And I had to completely just scramble and do it. But I've been doing a lot better about it. So but yeah, we'll definitely get that put together and we will get it posted to Spotify. So 25 songs minimum. There will be more. There will definitely be more from me. I have probably another half a dozen I was going to add, but I decided not to, just to kind of keep the list condensed a little bit and to kind of reduce the risk of Jason and I having, doubles. So yeah, I decided just to stick with the 13 that I had. So we'll kind of go with that and see what happens. So Jason has a little bit more, had a few more technical difficulties. So we will see how long it takes him to get back. Usually doesn't take too long. The only thing that we have to do now is the album review segment. So I'm not going to jump ahead into that without him because we usually discuss both of our albums when we do this segment. So I don't want to get that started without him. So, but while we are waiting for him to get back, I know Jason already mentioned the radio station once. You can see the link down there right now. A simpler link, if you want to not type in all this junk at the bottom of the screen, is stream.trulyradio247.com/8006. And that is a link that will take you directly to our stream that is streaming right now. And you can see coming across right now also that we do have the Metalheads Unite USA merch store at metalheadsuniteusa.com. So check that out. And let's see, we are on Twitch. We are on X, which is formerly known as Twitter. I don't do much on X, so you may not want to follow us on there. I'll be 100% honest. I really don't do much there. But we are active on Instagram. We are active on our TikTok. I do post the Metalhead Minute every Wednesday-ish over there, so I try to keep that as updated as possible. So you can follow us on those social media platforms, and our new follower Black Neo 5150 over at Twitch. We appreciate you very much. Welcome back. I was doing a little bit of filler since we only have one segment left.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna start doing the album reviews without you. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that was actually a stream artist time, so
I'm sure it was.
yeah, it was
Sure
actually. It was like I looked down. I was like, nope, I have all my stuff here. Internet's great. And it just like it kicked me out, and then it said, "Oh, your path does not exist." That I was trying to connect to. I'm like, what?
That's weird.
I was just fucking in there. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's very weird.
So fucking serious. It's like it just kind of aggravating where it happens like almost on a weekly basis. So I mean, we almost made it through the whole fucking show without issue, but I guess he couldn't have that.
Well, I guess on the bright side, if there is a bright side, your audio and video are 100% back in sync now.
Well, you didn't like the Japanese version, man? Like,
I was actually getting used to it, to be completely honest with
you. Oh, I don't. Damn you!
Yeah, damn you! You want to fight? Fight me!
Fight me! Anyway, all right, we will try to knock this thing out before anything else catastrophic happens. So album reviews time here. Hell in the Club Fubar is what I went with this week. Hell in the Club are from Alessandra Piedmont, Italy. They've been active since 2009. I love this because it kind of reminded me of the 80s, where their lyrics include fun, love, drinking, and sex. Like, yeah,
there you go.
Just like it sounds like you were born in the wrong era, guy. But okay.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's like so crazy to talk about. Like I said, with Accept, like we were kind of talking about, kind of talking about crazy stories, and he's like, Martin, kind of like, well, I think I came in when they were already mellowed out. So,
yeah.
So there's not a lot of stories to tell from the later Accept, I guess. So. But anyway, we Hell in the Club Fubar. This is their sixth full-length album. Their current members are this is going to be wild. Andrea Andy Barato on bass, Andrea Pico Picardi on guitars, Dave Moros on vocals, and then Marco Lazzarini on drums. Looks like the other three members there since the beginning. The drummer is newer, so there we go. Like I said, band's sixth full-length album, so they've had a few under their belt. 11 tracks, 41 minutes, 53 seconds. Now, I want you to kind of imagine a band like Danger Danger playing power metal.
Okay, all right.
So if you can imagine that, so vocally and lyrically, so vocally and lyrically, and I'll explain a little bit here. So vocally and lyrically is like Danger Danger, but instrumentally is kind of like Elven King, and I bring that name up because one of the members did play in Elven. So one of the players did play in Elven King, so it kind of made sense once I read that. So it's really it was really different. I didn't hate it by no means, but I think it's just going to take me a few listens to kind of get accustomed to that sound. So you're talking like an 80s party band with power metal. is pretty much what you're looking at. So,
Nice.
so it's very, and we've talked about this before, where Rick Jimenez said a lot of these bands are kind of crunching different genres, trying to make something happen. So, I mean, that
That's true.
could be one of those things. But for now, I'm going to give it three horns, and I kind of hope it grows on me, honestly, because it really is. It really is like it was kind of like I'm sitting there going, I figured out. Like I've listened to it twice, and I'm still kind of like listening to it, going, "Fuck, oh man, I really don't fucking know."
Yeah.
But it's good. Like it's not like horrible. I don't fucking know. It's not like it's good. It's good that I can't pick out. I can't like really anything to like trash on, but I got anything to like either. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like it's kind of like I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
I gotcha.
So that's why I'm just giving it three right now. Like I said, hopefully a couple more listens that'll kind of grow them, and I can kind of like be more. Maybe by next week I might even give you guys an update if I listen to it a couple more times. We'll see. Um, but but yeah, so we'll see what happens.
All right. Three horns out of five. I mean, that's not, it's not bad.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, they've been around a while, so I mean,
Yeah.
they I don't know what none of their older stuff sounds like. I may go back and check that out too, just to kind of
Yeah.
see if it kind of like it's kind of like cascaded into what I'm listening to now or something. So maybe with the new drummer, they kind of changed up or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They definitely got 14 years of,
Yeah,
stuff under their belt. So yeah.
I mean the guitar stuff in there was awesome. It was really like yeah, almost kind of thrashy. So it's kind of like a thrash power metal
I may have
glam
to,
rock album. It's like
I may
I'm
have to
like,
take, yeah, I may have to
yeah.
take a listen to that one. It
Yeah,
sounds
see if
interesting.
you can point out something I didn't. So
Yeah.
uh,
It sounds interesting for sure.
it
All right.
is. It's very like it's a very interesting sound. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like I said, it's definitely different. So
Well, different. Yeah. Different's good. We like different.
yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, my album review this week was the self-titled debut album by Shadow Legion.
Mm,
It was really hard to find information on this band, so I'm not 100. I can't promise that all my information is correct. They
mm.
weren't on Encyclopedia Metallum, so it took me a little while to track down a website that had a little more information because they have their own website, but it is like there's like nothing
Yeah,
there.
blank.
It's fucking weird. They are a progressive death slash black metal band formed in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I believe, because that's where they're headquartered right now, according to that website that I found. Of course, I don't have the tab open now, so I can't give
Yeah,
proper credit to the website. I should have done that. I'm sorry. Um, like I said, this is their debut album. Their lineup consists of Brian Malone on guitars, Dan Venturino on bass, Kyle Healy on vocals, and Alex Cohen on drums. The album is 11 minutes long, 68 minutes, so it was a little bit of a time investment. There was one instrumental, it was track number 7, so it was only 2 minutes long. So you're talking about 10 tracks at 66 minutes. So some of the songs were a little on the long side. Track number 11 was 9.5 minutes. Didn't really need to be. This was an interesting album because with it being I'm not a huge fan of progressive metal a whole lot. So progressive death and black metal, not exactly a combination I usually listen to. And I wasn't super duper confident about this album when I started listening to it because it was basically just like play as many notes as we can as fast as we can, just for the sake of like just saying we can. There wasn't a whole lot of structure to it, so I wasn't super duper confident. I was like, all right, I'm not gonna bail out on this album. I'm gonna listen to it, and I'm glad I did because there are screams, there are cleans, there are outright gutturals, there are a couple of excerpts of more or less spoken word lyrics on here. So from a lyrical vocal standpoint, it was a very diverse album, and I was even pleasantly surprised by a little bit of the a little bit of the what word am I looking for here? There, because, damn it, I'm trying to make sure I describe this right, because this album was really all over the place. So the diversity was
Yeah.
good. Um, I was surprised by some of this. There was a couple of songs. The vocalist in the Alex, not Kyle Healy. I could have sworn that when I was listening to this album that it was the vocalist from Volbeat, because I was like, this guy sounds
Oh
exactly like the
wow,
fucking guy from Volbeat.
that's
And
crazy.
yeah, he sounded not when he was doing the gutturals or the screams, mind you,
Mm-hmm.
but when during the clean vocals, like, this dude sounds exactly like the
All
fucking
the
lead singer.
assholes in the
That's
room.
exactly what he sounded like. It's like, holy shit. There's no, I was like, it couldn't
Uh,
possibly be him, could it? Turns out it wasn't. But I swore up and down
yeah.
that it sounded like him. But the track number eight was called Heart Eater. And the reason why I bring up the lead singer of Volbeat, because that track right there, that specific track was like, if Volbeat would have sounded like this, I would have been a Volbeat fan, because I don't really care for Volbeat
Mm.
all that much.
Yeah, just a few
But
songs. Yeah.
yeah, but the way of a lot of the songs were composed, it was the pretty much typical death and black metal, where it was, super duper aggressive.
Hmm.
Like I say, a lot of notes played really really fast, kind of in, no sense of real structure or composition or anything like that. But like I say, there were a couple of songs that surprised me. um, I will say that a lot of the gutturals and the more aggressive vocals were cleaner than I would have expected for a black metal album, for sure. So that was kind of a nice surprise. But so I was pleasantly surprised overall with this album. I'm gonna give it three horns out of five too. I did like it more than I thought I would, but there was still
Hmm.
some things that, were kind of typical pet peeves for me as far as black metal albums
Right.
go. I wish I could play it or at least describe it, but in death metal there is one, and you would probably know it if you heard it, because death metal has this one drum beat that, like, almost every death metal band goes to, and it's like in every death
The
metal
tin
song.
can. Tink, tink,
Yeah,
tink, tink.
not really that one,
Mm.
but it's the drum beat where the snare, the cymbal, and the bass drums are all hit at the same.
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about? Like I say, I
Yeah,
wish I
yeah.
could. I wish I knew how to play it, but it's that one drum beat that's in like almost every death metal song, and it drives me crazy because it seems like a default drum beat
Mm.
that death metal albums go to, and I'm sick of hearing it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a little bit of a turnoff for me, because it's like, come up with a new one, would you please?
Mm.
So, but it was
Well, I
in
mean,
there.
that's the.
It was in there multiple times. I don't know if they use it as kind of like a foundation or something, but
Oh, they must. They must. Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of bugs me because
I
it's
mean,
it's overdone.
with the way we talk about music, though, I feel like that they need to like push the envelope a little bit with that genre or subgenre of metal, because I think that's kind of like a lot of people don't listen to it as much as they would, because you have that like that drums that we talk about all the time, a little tink, 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 tink,
Yeah, I think
all
I
that, like on like a tin can thing, and then that
yeah
what
I
you're talking about with the bass and the snares and everything hitting
yeah
together.
yeah
I think they have to go out the box to get people back in. I mean, I know a lot of people love it, and that's fine, but I think to get other fans involved in that, it's kind of like people like me and you to jump ship a little. They're going to have to
hmm
like come up with something a little bit more, a little bit more. I don't know. I don't want to say anything bad about the genre, 'cause, I mean, it is, they're
it
obviously
just
talented musicians. It just needs to be a little
right.
bit
I'm
more. They need
yeah
to
I'm
explore a little more, I guess.
I'm absolutely not downplaying the talent, but it almost seems
Because
like it.
I do like some death metal bands,
Yeah, I do too. But it
but they don't
seems
do that. They don't do what we're talking about either. So,
right.
uh,
But it just seems like sometimes, like, there's a certain sound in black metal that kind of pigeonholes itself.
yeah.
I don't know what it is about it. So, but yeah, I mean, it's not a bad album, and I'm sure a lot of black metal fans, people who listen to black metal more than we do, would probably they'll hear things a little different than I did, and that's fine. That's what these are for. I mean, we're obviously not the be all end all, but
Right.
so yeah, I still like this a lot more, a lot more than some of the other death and black metal albums I've listened to this year. That's for
Yeah.
sure. So
I think I had one. Oh, you know what? I didn't even do that. I'm so horrible today. Um, oh man. There is the weekly playlist. Apologize, but I was uh, I was just thinking. I was like, oh, I think did I put any other songs on there? I can't remember. I may not have. I didn't. There was so much new stuff out, man. I was like,
yeah. And speaking of new stuff, since you brought it up, we're gonna go ahead and look ahead to this coming Friday, August the 18th. And there's one that I know that someone is gonna check out.
oh yeah.
Leading off with After Earth with the Rarity of Reason, Atreyu with The Moment You Find Your Name, or Your Flame rather, that's an EP. Atria with Ground Zero, that's also an EP. Then we have Bad News with Every Mistake Imaginable, The Complete Frilly Pink Years, 1987, 1988. Bless the Fall with Hollow Bodies, that is a vinyl re-release. Bone Dagger with
Damn.
the
You had my
Veil,
hopes
that's
up.
what's that?
So you had my hopes up. I thought it was gonna be new. Bless the
No.
fall.
No. Bless the Fall, that's a Hollow Bodies vinyl re-release. Bone Dagger with The Veil, that's an EP. We have Boris with Heavy Rocks, a 2002 re-release. We have Borracho with Blurring the Lines of Reality. Cherubs with To Infinity. And Heroin Man. So Cherubs has 2 re-releases. Church Burner with Digital Flowers and Analog Fields. We have The Circle with Of Awakening. We have Creek with Depth Perception. We have Syra with The Vertigo Trigger. The Dead Daisies with The Best Of. Dead Talks with Veneration of the Dead. Dripping Decay with Festering Grotesqueries. Fall of the Albatross with Right. Fiddlehead with Death is Nothing to Us. We have Flow with Long Way Down. God Rhythm with Distortions. Gam Jabbar and Pissing Contest with a self-titled and self-titled split album. We have Horrendous with Ontological Mysterium. Imperial Tide with Existence in Crisis, that's an EP. We have Involtation with Feral Legion. Movements with Ruckus. We have Not with Hiraeth. Oblivion Protocol with The Fall of the Shires. Ox with The Primordial Blues. Princess Alice Manor with Outer Demons, that's an EP. We have Peer Cajun with The Cajun and The Unending Fire, that's an EP. Reformat with Precursed, or Precursed probably. Ringworm with Seeing Through Fire. Sanguine Glacialis with Maladaptive Daydreaming. Sarina Telly with Addicted to Color. Shadow Smile with Signed in Blood. Sensation with I Am Man. Scowl Mode with Idalir. Sleep Maps with Reclaim Chaos. Something is Waiting with Absolutely. Spirit Adrift with Ghost at the Gallows. The Trousers with Animal Gun. Tusmorke with Hestehoven. UKC with Coming Out. Unblessed Divine with Portal to Darkness. Virgin Black with Requiem Fortissimo. Warman with Here for None. And Worm Shepherd with the Sleeping Sun EP. Those are the upcoming new releases for Friday, August 18th. So
what was that one that was kind of up the list? There was like grotesque something.
it is. Let's see. Dripping Decay with Festering Grotesqueries.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see that album cover.
Let's see if I can find it. Hold on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can do that because they'll have like a they'll have a single out or something. There it is.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if I can find images. Holy balls!
It's pretty bad, huh?
Jesus, if this is the actual album cover, my God! Holy shit! Hang on.
Some of those album covers are pretty bad.
Oh my Lord! Okay, hang on. All right, let me see if I can. Let's see. All right, you'll have to
let you share it, and I can throw it up there.
You'll have to share it for me.
Oh my God!
Look at
that. Jesus, that's proof.
That is wicked.
That's rough. That's almost like that gut saw shit we see.
Yeah, that was so cool.
I didn't think about letting you pull up that down picture. I could have showed the damn accident on there. I didn't think about that.
It's okay. Like I say, it's at pretty much every single one of our outlets.
Yeah.
So people can check it out. But
yeah. I was say it's a pretty gruesome looking wreck.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Luckily,
Thankfully, no one was hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's when I seen that and they said that, I'm like, wow, I don't see how nobody got hurt. That's a miracle.
Pretty surprising. Yeah.
If only God would have been that nice to Metallica in what, 86?
Yeah. 84? 86?
Was it 84?
86?
Oh, 86. Oh.
86. Shit. We should know this by now.
As much as we talk about it, yeah.
Yeah, we should know this by now.
September 27th, 86.
86, yeah.
I thought that was right. I couldn't remember.
Yep.
So
I sent you the playlist on Instagram. Did it come through?
Okay, yeah, I seen it. So.
Okay, I'm just gonna send it through you on Instagram. I don't know why it's been having such an issue with sending it to you through text. I'm just gonna I'll hit you with it on Instagram.
From what I understand, it's like issues if you're with 5G. So if you're 5G and you're not, then there's a lot of issues with that. So.
I was about it's probably because of the age of my phone is probably what it is. No, it probably is. I mean, my phone's like 8 years old. It's ridiculous.
My phone was like, who the fuck's calling me from 1965? Shit.
Yeah. Technologically, it might as well be. In all honesty, my phone's ridiculously old. Well, the funny thing is, like I sent Jason from Halo Scars the pictures that I took from the concert, and I sent it to him on Facebook on Messenger, and he said, man, those are some really good pictures. I said, yeah, I'm surprised they turned out so good with how old my phone is, and he just laughed.
I got a lot of old. I still got the old Nokia flip. Or the Nokia, like you had to pull the antenna out. And everything.
Jesus!
I still got one of those somewhere.
Yeah,
I keep a lot of my old phones.
Jesus, that is an old phone.
You never know when you might need a burner.
That's true. That's true. You are right.
Just plug that somebody didn't use it.
It probably would still work.
It's on like 2G.
No.
Probably not even that.
Probably not.
It's still on dial-up.
Yeah, analog at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think it was an analog phone actually.
Probably was analog. Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I still have like the flip phones when they first came out. Of course, that's like a big thing now. They're trying to come back with. They're trying to. Is it Google or one of them's got the ones where it bends and you can do your shows like this.
Samsung. It's the Samsung Galaxy Fold.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Everybody's like tripping off that now. It's like, man, I had a flip phone 12 years ago.
Yeah, we had flip phones before they were cool. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Couldn't do all that shit with them, but yeah.
No, you could not.
Then I had a slide up phone. Remember the slide ups too? They had like the slide up phones.
Yeah, with the physical keyboard. I do. Yeah.
Yeah, like a BlackBerry or something.
Yeah. Yep.
Was that what's that movie? Be Cool, where he's trying to like get his PA to work or whatever, or his what the fuck did he have? The Rock had that phone. He kept trying
like
to
get the sidekick or whatever.
I don't remember what it was.
Like his sidekick or something. Yeah.
He's like, I don't know how to work it. She go, let me see it.
Yeah, I think it was a sidekick. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn, you can't work that damn thing. Quit fucking with it.
It was a good movie. Yeah, twinkle, twinkle, baby, twinkle, twinkle. Twinkle, twinkle. It's so fucking funny.
Damn. All right, we will wrap this one up for the night. We thank everybody for stopping in. What was the Twitch?
Thank you to Black Neo 5150 for joining us in the chat. Asked a very good question earlier. We greatly appreciate it. And I did get a message via our show email that he is a new follower of ours on Twitch. We greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, we need some Twitch followers, but I feel like that's kind of one we don't hit up. We don't get a lot from often. We get our YouTubes and mostly our Facebook people, but Twitch is kind of one we just we're out there in outer space somewhere, I guess, over there with the content. Like a lot of gamers are more successful over there than
I think it may be a little bit more
podcasters.
it may be a little bit more that niche, but we do thank you, Black Neo 5150. We greatly
I still got
appreciate
to break the Apple podcast code somehow, but
it.
it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's all with my banner. That's like that's what's holding me up. Like that's the whole thing is
Yeah.
the fucking banner. Like the banner's got to be a certain freaking size. I'm just like, okay, how the fuck do I do that? Like
Right.
I done like narrowed it and cut it, and I don't know. It's
Yeah.
still not good enough for them. So I'll figure it out one of these days.
Yep.
By vacation time, at least.
Yeah. But yeah, before we go, want to remind you guys, like I say, we talked about the radio station already. We talked about the merch store, metalheadsuniteusa.com. Head on over there. Stream.trulyradio247.com/8006 takes you directly to the radio station, which is streaming right this second. You can follow us on
24/7.
24/7. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on TikTok. You can follow us on Twitch, like Black Neo 5150. You can follow us on Rumble. You can come on over to the Facebook group, send us a membership request. We'll get you guys hooked up there. If you want to drop us a line or a request for the radio station, metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com.
Yeah. And there are new songs uploaded to that pretty much on a daily basis. Some days I do have to skip if I wake up late or something. But I usually come in here first thing and I'll take my dogs out and I got like an hour or so to chill before I go to work. I usually try to upload stuff and reset. I have to reset it like once a week to kind of get those in the loop. So I usually make sure nobody's listening and then I'll reset it to get everything in the loop. But yeah, it's I listen to it pretty much a couple of days out of the week while I'm working. So
I do too.
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely I haven't heard a lot of songs repeat, so that's a good thing. So I think we've gotten enough on there. I think we got enough on there where we're not having to deal with a lot of that anymore. So
yeah, we're not a
I mean,
we're not a mainstream radio station that'll play the same song at the top of every hour.
yeah,
God, it drives me nuts.
And I don't want to be either. So.
No, hell no.
But all right, everybody, thank you guys for stopping in. Hope you enjoyed. And then, as always, go check us out on Spotify if you want to see the band interviews. You can check that one out with Martin Motnick from last week. Very, very cool interview, and all of our other stuff is on there too. If you want to hear some cool bands that you may not know about, there's a lot of shows on there from where we've interviewed people. So a lot of cool bands on there too, man. Like some of those guys that put out some killer fucking music. Maybe looking at Varus putting out some new stuff by next year too. I think they're working on some new stuff. So
that would be awesome.
And they've been on the show too. So yeah, cool. Man.
Yeah.
And like Elevate, man, that album was off the chain, dude. I can't wait for more stuff from those guys. So
that's probably my EP of the year so far.
Oh yeah, that damn thing's fucking killer. I don't know. That didn't Pathos, man. It's only 3 songs.
I haven't had a chance to listen to that just yet. I haven't had a chance to listen to that yet.
It's so good. But anyway, we can sit here and talk about new music all day long. That's kind of what we do. But
yes,
anyway,
yes, we could.
Anyway, thank you guys for stopping in. Thanks to Black Neo. Was it 50, 51?
5150.
Yep. 5150. Okay, sorry. Just like that Van Halen record. Okay. So thank you for stopping in and following us on Twitch. And thank you guys for joining us at any point that you wind up watching the show. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And like you said, go over, get some merch if you want to support us and put a couple of dollars in our pocket. We can feed our crumb snatchers too.
That's right.
That's right. But we do appreciate you guys listening, and we will see you right back here next week for the same bat time, same bat channel.
That's right.
So until then, you guys keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Have a great week, you guys.